Intention of justice is to see that the guilty people are proven guilty and that the innocent are freed. Only we have a problem here.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are taking a look at this case from a psychological perspective.
Fun. Everybody was having a good time.
Does Brian Albert strike you as the kind of guy who is always having fun? No. And here's a news flash for this judge. Mental health professionals have solutions.
They made an arrest. I got the guy for Danny.
It's like a mix between sadness and anger, because that's the moment for him when he really started to believe that his mother was involved.
The only corresponding records in the other databases are from previous days.
There is a huge psychological component to what was going on here. And according to this group, Brian Albert Jr. gets like the most celebrated birthday hour of anybody ever. Like every 30 seconds, someone's like, "Happy birthday!" John totally seemed like such a cool guy.
John makes me like
Somebody jumps in as a journalist, draws attention to it, in a light that is not good for the prosecution. I mean, and there are serious allegations of corruption in the DA's office and the state police.
It's not like his 21st birthday.
What happened outside was separate from anything that happened inside.
I'm going to go with the seahorse, because certainly I've gotten a lot of love from everybody today, which feels nice.
You are very, very loved. And I can't believe we get to spend your birthday with you. Happy birthday!
Text messages read back as if he's the aggrieved party.
Hold on. Have each of you been called murderers?
Who wants to be the one to give Matt the bad news?
I wanted to prove, or to demonstrate.
I don't know where the dog was. I didn't hear any barking. Her name is Sunny. She was named after Santino Corleone.
To the side, in the side yard.
Hey, hi, everybody. There's my Johnny. Hello. That's my Johnny.
Sunny barks if you walk by my window and sneeze. You're not really going to deny this, are you?
it's so weird. It's like the Inside Out, upside down. Narnia.
Really?
I would get at some point in a timely fashion and then turn it over.
Know if we had it enough, or we had it all, I should say.
Not having any observable or detectable electrical activity would be asystole.
Means death. 3 separate tab IDs. The thing he had to encourage her to do was not to testify.
You know, and Julie Albert responds to the text message from John, and she goes, "My biggest fear in life is ending up on Turtle Boy."
Stop it.
Oh, you never seen that? Oh, I got it.
You're not going to like this, though. You're going to disagree with me on
Just say it. I like the
disagreement.
conflict.
Okay.
Yeah, the disagreement.
People are terrified of him. They're absolutely terrified of him. And how do we know that? We know that from Mega Motion. Just another day for me, right? Which means it was just not an ordinary day for somebody else. Just when you thought you were out, they pull you back.
Karen Reed plots. She fabricates a conspiracy.
I am just a person who likes to understand. That's going to increase the likelihood that we're going to take some action.
Here she is.
My sister Jillian, yes.
Oh, it's funny. But then he's got part of his shirt untucked. His back pocket is kind of hanging out.
He has to buy that. So, he has to buy that. So.
And showing solidarity, you can see them there.
It's about getting justice for John O'Keefe. There clearly is an issue of integrity.
How dare they?
Justice for all. Only we have a problem here.
Yes, we sure do. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yay, It's Wednesday night. This is the I Don't Belong Here show. And am, of course, your host, Samantha Beningo. And as you all know, I am a behavioral scientist, a career psychotherapist, a 6th-year PhD candidate in clinical psychology, a master's level psychologist and counselor. And tonight we have a ton of stuff to cover. There's so much going on. It was one of those days where it was really fast moving and there was developments going on throughout the day and just one thing after another, it kind of snowballed. So I was trying to capture it all and we'll see. Hopefully we get to everything. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Hi, guys. Oh, it's so nice to see you all. My favorite people are all here. Hi, Denise. The best moderator in the world is with us. Hi, Miss Emily. I see Miss Emily. I spent most of the day bothering Emily to give me the update on the Afro Man trial, and she gave me the greatest update ever, which was awesome. I had no idea. I just wasn't paying attention because I was so busy with Kelsey and then with obviously the Corey Richens stuff, and of course, always with Karen Reed. So I wasn't paying attention to the Afro Man, and I didn't even put it together that he was the Because I Got High guy. I was like, oh my God, I love that song. I literally realized it like an hour and a half ago. It's like, oh, I like him so much. And then Emily gave me the update, and I love it. She's the greatest at that. So thank you so much, Emily, for the update. And that really was a kind of a funny trial. It sounds like I saw some of the highlights. So I'm sure those of you that were following it got a kick out of it. And thankfully he won. First Amendment won. High five for the First Amendment. And hopefully that carries over into Aiden's case. We did have a little development in his case this week, where the motion to dismiss was denied. There's all kinds of bizarre stuff going on with Cosgrove. None of this is a surprise because at the last hearing, the judge made it very clear that he wants a jury to make the decision. And I cannot imagine that once a jury hears the facts, I just can't imagine that there's a world where any jury is going to find him guilty. And it'll be great theater for us. But what a shame that this guy has to go through it, right? It's so totally targeted. It's so, the machine, the Morrissey machine, it's like his last effort before he walks out the door. And speaking of that, did have some interesting news about this alleged 400-person meeting that happened outside of Canton, just outside, I think in Dedham, at some hotel, where all of our favorite people got together. And I guess we're, cooking up something. I don't know if it was a fundraiser, although I'm sure it was. I'm sure there was some kind of a ticket entrance fee. And I guess you got to hang out with the O'Keefe family and Jennifer McCabe. What a highlight that would be. Yeah. So we obviously weren't invited, tragically. Not so sure that I would have gone, even if I got an invite. I think that would likely be probably wouldn't end very well for anyone, but certainly it would be fun to be a fly on the wall. And just like always, so it's such like typical stuff. Like, what a class act these people are, right? Just the classiest group. I didn't even realize that the person next to Peg, is that Michael Proctor's wife? Did somebody say that? Is that Liz Proctor? Oh my, it's so great. It's so good. You can't even make it up. Like, how stupid do you have to be? You see Kate Peter in the back left, obviously. Brian Albert Jr. Somebody I think thought that was Nicole. And at first I thought, oh, maybe she's like wearing a disguise so that she can go out in public and nobody will recognize her. But I don't think so. Maybe that's an aunt. I don't know. She kind of has like a little bit of a Nicole Albert likeness, but not enough to be her. The woman in the far back next to the Nicole Albert sort of lookalike did look familiar to me. I don't know who she is. So, What are they up to? I'm sure they're scheming something, and at the very least are encouraging each other, giving each other more confidence, kind of pumping each other up. Good for them. You know, having a false sense of confidence can only make things worse in the end for people who are very blatantly guilty of murdering a police officer. And I think, my overall read on these people and this case, this is one of those situations where time is not going to look favorably upon these people, because eventually they're all going to fade out of office. The police department's going to switch over hands. People are not going to be as invested in the Alberts and the secrecy around them. They're not going to have the power. They're not going to have the influence. The kids are going to be out of high school, right? So eventually, in time, as they get older, and the people that they know, the connections that they have, which has already started, are kind of aging out of the system. That's when I think, things could really get interesting for those folks. If any serious effort is ever going into a real investigation, I think that's when things could get interesting. So I have hope that maybe it won't be tomorrow, maybe not the next day or the week or month after that, but I am hopeful. And one of the things that has made me more hopeful lately is going back and looking much more closely at, as I mentioned, Sarah Levinson and Julie Nagel. At first, like many people, I just assumed more than anything else that they were innocent bystanders, party goers, didn't see anything, who knows why. The music was playing, the dancing was happening, and they were distracted by that. John snuck in the front door, whatever. Now I have completely changed my view on that because their testimonies are beyond incriminating. That information is not secret. I mean, you can see it. It's very clear. I mean, Julie Nagel's blob story could not be more incriminating, and she's just so clearly lying. It's just a total fabrication. But for whatever reason, I mean, that sort of shows you how strong confirmation bias can be, because if you have something, a strong belief in your mind that says, no, 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 they must not know anything because I don't know why, because because they're not Alberts and McCabe's. But when you actually simply take a look at the testimony, it tells a very different story. And at some point soon, we are going to go through Sarah Levinson. I am also going to take a closer look at the Rotten Tomatoes interview that Karen Reed gave. Obviously, I watched it when it first came out, but I've been so busy. And then the Corey Richens trial happened, and that just swept me up. So I have not had time to do that. But I do think it's worth taking a closer look at and examining what she was saying much more closely. Because of, privacy and recency bias, I saw the beginning and paid very close attention. I saw the end and I paid very close attention. I missed a lot of the details in the middle. So I have to go back, look much more closely, and see what we can, if anything, extrapolate from that also. So there's a lot to do. There always is when it comes to seeking justice for John O'Keefe, of course. And then we have the goodbye letter that Chris Albert reads at the Canton Select Board Committee. He's got one more before he's retired from his time. We're going to take a closer look at that, see if we can't gauge anything off the cuff from his letter. I've only heard it loosely. I did not do any kind of thorough examination of it, but I'm curious, want to take a closer look, and I think we can probably do that pretty easily together. It's not very long, but it does strike me that he has sort of the wind at his back, right? Like he thinks he's got the wind at his back, having come out of this alleged 400-person meeting. And what it made me want to do, and I know this would be more difficult with all of the Aiden and Karen supporters because it's a bigger group, right? So it's a little bit fractured. It would be a lot harder to get all of us in one room somewhere. But I thought, if they had a 400 person turnout, my God, how many people could we get at a turnout, right? Could you imagine? I mean, we could get a lot of people together from all over the world if we were really putting an effort into it. So who knows? It did put the thought in my head. I thought, oh my goodness, how fun would that be to get us all together? It would just be an absolute blast. So if anything, I'm sure the drinks were flowing quite heavily over the weekend for those folks. So good for them. Like I said, God only knows what they're really up to. And then we had a very interesting development in the Kelsey FitzSimmons case. So she begins her trial now on Monday because she has made the decision to go with a bench trial. Now, if you saw the video I put out this week, previewing the situation and just sort of highlighting the win that she did end up getting, the judge allowing her to move into her own place so that she can prepare to have her home ready for a baby when hopefully all goes well in the coming weeks. I thought after that hearing, there was one moment where the judge literally cut the prosecutor off in mid-sentence to correct him, saying that, and I'm paraphrasing, something to the effect of, well, but it is that bad for Kelsey, like she has been aggrieved, that's the whole point. When he said that, I immediately went, oh yeah, this should be a bench trial, not because I think he was favoring her, but because he was aware and he understood that the argument that Bradel was making, and I think he understood that Bradel was very impassioned by that argument. And when I heard, I could not believe it. I literally had to rewind it and listen again in real time when I heard that the scram device is something she has to blow into 4 times a day. I couldn't believe it. Like, the most hardened criminals on the planet don't have to blow into a scram device 4 times a day. What is this freaking police officer? It kills me. It drives me nuts. This is the thing that just strikes me as so brutally unfair about this case. Have you ever seen a police officer who herself was shot? Cops barged into her home, shot her at point blank range, and then they're making her blow into a scram device 4 times a day. And now we're getting these phone calls, these text messages are coming out that are starting to leave some breadcrumbs to explain why that was. What was in the police officers' minds who showed up at the house that day, and how that was unfairly biased by Justin Elaine, by his mother, by his sister, and it seems like maybe even some of Kelsey's friends, which is kind of evil, and who knows what's really going on there. So we are going to take a listen to those phone calls. And I got to tell you, they are interesting. There's some very interesting moments. And the thing that I had to double check this, like I couldn't get it in my mind. Listening to these cops talking to Justin, these are Kelsey's colleagues. These are the people that work with her. It blew my mind. I literally looked it up after the fact. I went and I checked to make sure, because I thought maybe it's a neighboring police force. Maybe they don't know who she is. But as far as I could tell, they're North Andover police, which means she knows all these people. It's beyond. It's beyond. It is so unbelievable. So hopefully we see some justice for her, because boy, man, has she been put through the ringer. I mean, and it is so unjust. And when the judge reacted when he heard how many times she has to blow into that scram device, he was like, oh, I had the same reaction. I could not believe it. It's wild. I mean, she's being treated like a hardened criminal and she's a freaking police officer. It's just, so anyway, so we are going to take a look at all of this. And hi, Kit Gracie. She sends $4.99. She says, I bet after the select board, Chris will sell his pizza place and move states, just like Big Albert. I don't know, Kit. I got to tell you, I think Chris would be the last to leave. And the only reason I think he would be on behalf of Colin. But the thing is, the safest place for them is where they are because of groupthink. Brian Albert is a little different story. He's a much more like private and protected guy. You kind of could see that he wants to be on an island by himself where there are no people and there's just like deer and guns. But Chris, part of why I think he loves that pizza shop is because all he does all day is just sit there and shoot the shit. And even in just like the hour that I was there, few hours that I was at CF McCarthy's and then at his pizza shop, you could see that. I mean, he's hanging out in the doorway, talking to people as they pass by all day long. All he's doing is like gossiping. And so you can see that like he loves this town and he really does. I mean, he's born and raised. These are his people. However, it's a lot more, I'm sure, selective now, right? Because you've got this group of people who are protecting you and supporting you. And then this whole other kind of counter movement who are taking photos of you in public. Wherever you go, someone's snapping a picture and throwing it up on X or wherever on social media, Facebook, wherever. So kind of a double-edged sword. And the truth is, where are they going to go to hide? I mean, you saw that unbelievable video where Brian Albert is in the mall. I think it was a mall, and he's like eating, he's got a hat on and like glasses, and somebody just like starts screaming, right? Like murderer, like cop killer, and is like videoing the whole thing. It's not easy for them. And I'm not so sure that there's really any safe place. Like, I don't know, Greenland, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think they might be, because they do have support where they are, they might be better off where they are, honestly. Now, like I said, we'll see. But I don't see him giving up that shop. That's like his life. It's like the center of his world. So it'll be interesting though, man. Won't it be interesting to see what happens? It sure will. So I'm thinking, because I really want to wrap up the Corey Richens stuff. I really just want to like tie a bow on it and put it away. So my thought is maybe we start with just it's a very brief interview. It's the foreperson from the jury who was selected. I think she was voted in by the jury. I think that was the first task that the judge gave them. So she was interesting. Very, very interesting character. And it's only a very quick little, interview, little snapshot. But I thought maybe let's hear from her and I can kind of just close that out and then we can move on to everything and everybody else. So let's pull that up. And my sister might also be joining me. I hope she does. I haven't gotten the final word, but she has gotten the link. She, of course, is always invited to join. Here we go. All right. Let's see what this juror has to say.
Now to an ABC News exclusive on the Corey Richens verdict. The Utah mom found guilty Monday in the murder of her husband. Now, one of the jurors who voted to convict her is taking us inside the deliberation room. Rhiannon Alley joined us with more. Good morning, Rhiannon.
Good morning to you, Michael. Yes, first impressions matter. And the juror we spoke with said it was nearly impossible to get a vibe off of Corey Richens, saying she didn't really show much emotion during the trial, despite being accused of killing her husband, the father of her children.
Guilty. of aggravated murder.
This morning, the foreperson of the jury who found Utah mom Corey Richens guilty of killing her husband Eric by spiking his drink with a fatal dose of fentanyl is speaking out for the first time.
There was never a not guilty check with anything, with any element, nothing.
Laura and her fellow jurors taking less than 3 hours to find Richens guilty on all 5 counts, including aggravated murder, insurance fraud, and forgery.
Even though it was just 3 hours, I felt like we came into that deliberation fully loaded to evaluate the case and to look at the evidence. We had to zoom in on these.
So interesting. Right away, first thing, there was never not a guilty check, right? So everybody comes in and they're allowed to, like, vent, it sounds like, was the way that they handled it. Why don't we go around the room and everybody like let loose, because we've been hanging on to all this information and sitting here listening for so long. And there's never a moment where the people in the room are not leaning guilty from the start. Now, one thing I have to say about Bloodworth, I mean, he almost left them no choice, because he built his entire argument around the charges and the verdict slip. So he did the work for them. He pulled up the charge. He said, this is how you're going to meet the charge. Here's the evidence. Here's the citation and where you can go to find that evidence. And then you can make the decision for yourself, right? So to me, it was like he kind of handed them the goods from the start. And at that point, if you believed she was guilty, I mean, all you had to do was agree with him, and then you could just check all the boxes on the verdict form. So I think a lot of why it only took less than 3 hours probably was because of him. That's my guess, just based on the way he laid out the closing.
Little bits of evidence and kind of ignore all the fluff and ignore the drama.
Laura says each juror had their own smoking gun, but they all came to the same conclusion.
We were so pent up with so much information and emotion. And so we decided to just go one by one around the table and just let it out.
In 2023, Richens published this children's book on grief. She says was to help their sons with their loss, even promoting it on TV. The jurors shocked when they were told about the book in the final days of testimony.
Everyone just felt like they're hit with a truck. We're like, what? Like, what the hell is this? It was so odd and so strange.
The defense rested without calling a single witness, arguing there's no proof Corey killed Eric. Prosecutors countered with their own narrative, portraying the 35-year-old mother of 3 as a black widow, claiming she was having an affair, buried in debt, and desperate for her husband's money.
So I also just want to say, I went back over the last few days and I analyzed the closing argument of Ms. Lewis for the defense. And Miss Emily did remind me, Emily C. reminded me that Adam Lally's closing was horrific. Like, at least he didn't finish, and at least Ms. Lewis did. But going through and really paying very close attention to what she was saying, it was so bad. It is such a horrific closing argument. Everything she says, I don't even, you're going to see it. I'm putting out very long videos, so if you're interested in it, you're going to see it. But it was so bad. It was so much worse than what I remembered hearing it the first time, just, all at once. But being able to stop it and really pay attention to what she was saying, it was baffling that this was the closing argument. And obviously, you got to put on a case. I mean, there was too many questions, and by not addressing them, you leave the jury with no choice but to go with what the prosecutor was suggesting. Like, you just had to answer for some of these things. Where did Corey go with these pills? What happened to them, right? Like, you're even telling us that she bought oxycodone. Well, where did the drugs go? These are the things that if you had put on a case, you could have spoke to, you could have brought witnesses on to speak to and give the jury a way out, but there just wasn't a way out. And this defense attorney, Miss Lewis, did not help at all. She essentially sealed the deal, at least for me, as I was listening. So we're almost done here, though.
In the end, the jury sided with the prosecution.
People were really sad because they did not want to find her guilty. They were really hoping that she was innocent. And we couldn't come to that conclusion. And it was really heartbreaking, this devastating reality that this family was torn apart. And these poor kids will really basically never have a dad or mom.
Yeah, Richens is facing 25 years to life when she is sentenced May 13th. And Laura says all the jurors had different perspectives looking at this case. Some of them looked strictly at the facts, and then others focused more on the storyline. But she says no matter what they focused on, they all came to the same conclusion that she was guilty.
Interesting. It's always fun, and we were talking about this earlier too. It's always interesting when the mainstream media tries to summarize after the fact. I learned my lesson in a huge way with the Karen Reed trials about how the mainstream media can portray things. Definitely was a little scarred by that. And there was already some silliness going on around this case too. Like the 48 hours coverage right away was, horrific. So interesting, very, very interesting. And we'll see. Let me read some of these here. Blessed Mama asked Samantha, curious, you were unable to make the decision on whether Corey was a psychopath. Yep. That's a great question. The one holdout for me on psychopathy is she seemed to feel tremendous guilt. I think that's what sunk her. If on that night she had been able to put on a better performance, the kind that you might expect from someone who's narcissistic or who's psychopathic to their core, like imagine a Ted Bundy type figure who's sort of charming and knows how to, show up in different situations, you could imagine that person might have played up her kids and what they were going through, might have went right away to Eric's dad and just said, oh my God, Gene, and she could not do it. And you heard the language repeatedly. I can't do it. And that's very important language, right? I can't, I'm not physically capable. I can't face this. So I wonder, and this is something that you see with addiction, like, some of you know me pretty well, some of you I've worked with, and that I've shared that on paper, active addiction and narcissism you cannot tell them apart. Because somebody who's in the throes of I'm talking about a severe addiction, right? I'm talking about a real addiction. They're not distinguishable. And it's only when somebody who is in an active addiction begins a recovery process where you learn very quickly, actually. And I'm talking about, it can be as quickly as like a few weeks. Oh, no, this person is not narcissistic at all. They were just in the throes of an active addiction. And a lot of that has to do with the way addiction hijacks the brain. It just hijacks the brain in a similar way to how narcissism shows up. So it really bothers me when, and it's not uncommon at all, right? Anybody who works in mental health or specifically with substance use disorders, that it's common for people to come into treatment, many of them with a narcissistic personality or borderline personality, or these what used to be called access to disorders in their history. And the problem is, especially if they're young, if you're like under 25 and you have that diagnosis, it's something I almost always will stop parents and say, listen, if your child's in the throes of a heroin addiction, they're 19 years old, to say that they're borderline or say that they're a narcissist, it's almost definitely not the case. But you cannot know until that person has gone through a recovery process. My guess, Blessed Mama, is that she compartmentalizes. That's why she was able to sit there stone-faced more often than not in the courtroom. We did see emotion from her, but it wasn't sad. It felt like she was more often than not containing it. And my guess is that it's because she has the ability to compartmentalize. Now, lots of people have that, right? And what that means is that I can take my emotions and I can put them in a box and I can lock it up and throw away the key. And that's, why she's able to murder Eric. So I think the pattern with Corey that we see, and it's very, very clear, whenever she thinks she has a good enough reason to take some action, no matter what the cost, rules do not apply to her. Very textbook to what you see with addiction, without a doubt. Rules don't apply to me. And as long as I have a good reason that I can justify, it's okay for me to do anything I want. To take $250,000 from my husband. I mean, you heard her on the call with Bryce still defending that decision. Well, but I turned it into 12 million, and you had a chance to take 250,000 and turn it into 12 million. Wouldn't you do that? And he stops her right away. He's like, well, no, you destroyed your marriage, so he doesn't agree with her, but she doesn't see it, right? This is also extraordinarily common with folks who are in the throes of an addiction. I think she was really hopeful that Josh Grossman was going to be her meal ticket to happiness. And I think she was impulsive. She couldn't wait another minute. She figured, I'm closing on the Midway mansion. Maybe that timing wasn't ideal, but she did not account for the fact that Eric put everything in a trust. She didn't see that coming. I mean, she really didn't see that coming. She had taken out, what was it, $150,000 insurance policy just a few months before. So right now, I would say I am leaning still towards addiction, but it's a very tough decision. I mean, I can see it both ways and I still battle, but it's the intense guilt that I think there's no question that we see from her that makes me pause before committing to psychopathy, if that makes sense. Good question, though. I mean, it's a real battle. I battled even today. I was battling over it. Let me read this. I absolutely will, Paul Cat. Next week, I will wear purple in honor of Kelsey. You got it. Absolutely. Without a doubt. At Andrea Patterson, 35, sends $4.99. Hi, Sam. Do you still think you'll do an analysis of Chris Melton's testimony? I would love to. I started. I actually did listen. I listened through a few times, and there was so much there. I would love to do it. I'm glad you brought it back up because it was sort of out of my mind, but it is absolutely something I would love to do. One of the things, and this is, one of the things that gives me pause, is it takes so much time. Not that I mind, I personally don't mind giving the time, but I always think no one's going to want to sit here for 8 hours and listen to this. It's this is so long. It's so much time. And he's on the stand for 3 hours, something like that, maybe 3 hours of testimony with somebody like that. I'm like, it is a tremendously long analysis, and it's hard to cut stuff out of an analysis because it builds. So it's you need the baseline to be able to understand why somebody's saying something later. One thing I have been doing a lot of, though, is studying, because as I mentioned, I think maybe Monday or last week, that I was investigating this topic, just the topic of deception and the legitimacy of deception detection and analysis, and why certain things are what they are, why different linguistics mean what they mean. For example, I researched the teeth brushing comment. I don't know if any of you remember that. I think it was Sergio De Niro who a long time ago mentioned that people who mention brushing their teeth are often having an affair. And I eventually came to know what the root of that is, which was excellent, which was very, very interesting. So, for those of you that want to know, it has to do with, and I am so guilty of this. Like, the bathroom has always been my safe haven. It's like if I'm, at a social event or even like a wedding and I just need a timeout, like I'll go in the bathroom and lock the door, right? And it turns out that the whole thing about brushing your teeth is related to the fact that people feel safe and they feel like a sense of intimacy in the bathroom, and that's sort of what activates the teeth brushing reference and its relationship to intimacy and to ultimately what would be like secrecy, having an affair, which I thought was really interesting. So I've been doing that investigative work, and in doing that, I'm learning a lot more, and it just adds so much more depth to understanding where people are coming from. So I love it. And I love doing the analysis, but you got to do it right? Like, I just don't feel right about doing it half-assed. So, but I absolutely will. I absolutely will. It's a valid request. I want to do it. It was a fascinating testimony, and it gives us a ton of information. I mean, to me, I think you already know where I stand on this. I mean, I already can tell you that the entire alibi is it's taken from a different place in time and superimposed on that day. I mean, that goes without saying. And that was just me like listening kind of loosely in the bathroom while I was doing, in the background, not the bathroom, in the background while I was doing other things. So right away, it sort of raises all the red flags. But I absolutely want to. Absolutely. Oh, blessed mama's member for 4 months. She says, just so you know, we would sit through 8 hours of you. I appreciate you saying that. That's so super kind. I don't know if I want to torture you with that though, but I appreciate you saying it. And I think what I would probably do is like cut it up so that you don't have to endure 8 hours. But I get it, because I know when I'm really interested in something, like I just don't want it to end. So I completely understand what you're saying, and I appreciate you saying it so much. I think we have my sissy here. She might be able to chime in on this. Jackie, why don't you jump on here, and then I will answer Sharon your question. It's a great question. Hello, sister.
Hello.
Oh, we have better sound today.
Okay, we do. Okay.
Oh, your hair is purple. We dyed it.
No, it's just like it's like the same thing as like the tinsel. Only it's just colored hair.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
smart.
and I learned how to use like the looper, and it's so much easier. Oh my God, it like changed everything.
Oh, yes, you can change it
I'm
out.
talking extensions here is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying.
Yes. People have asked me. People ask me about the tinsel, and I try to explain it, but you got to know what extensions are. Yeah. Well, it looks beautiful.
It's like micro beads. That's what I use. That's what these are. I ordered, so I was like, oh, I could probably get different color hair. And so I did that. And I was like, oh, I'll try it out. And now I did.
It looks beautiful. Well, so somebody was just asking me to wear purple in honor of Kelsey FitzSimmons next week, and you have already beat me to it. So that's awesome. So let me bring you up to speed. We were sort of wrapping up on Corey Richens before we move into some other things. Kelsey, and there's all this audio and video, and Chris Albert said goodbye or read a letter on the select committee. But the question that came up a moment ago was whether or not I believe that Corey Richens is psychopathic, essentially, narcissistic, psychopathic, or more on the addiction spectrum. And Sharon, in lieu of that, so I then said I am leaning more on the addiction spectrum than I am on the narcissist spectrum. Yes. And they said that because she clearly felt extreme guilt after the fact, almost immediately, I mean, we see it evidenced by her reactions to her children, her reactions to Eric's dad. And we see it in what happens with Josh Grossman. To me, it's her sense of guilt that makes her incapable, in part, not the only thing, incapable of being able to be in any kind of relationship with him as that after Eric's death. Like, first off, obviously, things didn't go the way she thought they were. She ended up, the money's in a trust, all of that. The anxiety shoots up. She's, they're pointing at her
went the
murder.
way she wanted to. Nothing.
Yeah. Right. But I think there's other factors too. And I think that it was in part that like she could no longer stand being with him. Number one, not being able to tell him the truth. And number two, with the way he looked at her. So, right, because I think he was a confidant for her. And that got destroyed. But this is such a good question, and maybe you'll have some thoughts on it too. Sharon sends $10. Thank you, Sharon. And she asks, if you think Corey was an addict, what substance was she addicted to? It's such a good question. So to me, there's a number of things that point in this direction, but you're asking a very valid question. So number one, Corey's got two parents who have addiction. Her father's an alcoholic, kills somebody, ends up in jail, the whole thing, lifelong addict alcoholic. Mom is a gambler. That's a behavioral addiction. So that's compulsive behavior. It's in my mind, exponentially worse in many ways than substances, which is a very long discussion to try to have. But, the last thing that you ever want anyone yourself or that you love to have is a gambling addiction. Devastating. And it's behavioral. So right away, we know that both in her firsthand experience of reality and in her genetic predisposition, and we know that there is a genetic component to addiction. You are 50 to 70% more likely to be an addict if you have a first degree relative, a parent, a sibling who also has it. And so she has both. The way she talks about chasing happiness is something I talk a lot about. And if you were in rehab with me as your counselor or as your teacher, you would have heard me talk about this a lot. It's a very addiction-oriented kind of framework to be chasing, like just trying to get to the next thing to feel better. Because the focus is external. Like people that take drugs think that the only way to feel better is to take a drug, take something from the outside, put it on the inside, and then you feel better. There's no awareness that you have the internal controls up here at all times. At any moment, you actually have the wherewithal internally to feel better. You don't know that, obviously, if you're in this position, but you do. And so because these folks become so externally focused, they become so superficial, really. I mean, I don't mean that in a judgmental way. I mean it in a literal sense, like physically oriented, looking at people, places, and things to make you feel better. She comes to the conclusion that the only way to feel better is to have another baby, is to get a bigger house, is to, be successful in business, is to get more property, and then ultimately meets Josh. And I think with him, so if you've ever had one of those, they're as addictive as a Josh Grossman is as addictive as heroin. I mean, it just sweeps you away, like sweeps you up, and the neurochemistry of attachment is oxytocin. It's, vasopressin. It's a full dose of the good stuff that people want. So to me, she was addicted to him, and she was primed for it at a brain level because of her whole life up to that point. So as soon as she gets that from him, I think she starts plotting like, all right, I got to get rid of Eric. I think she first tries to pursue divorce. She goes to the divorce attorney, decides that's not a door that she's going to consider, and then starts looking for alternative options. And then when we learn that mom had a partner that died from an oxycodone overdose, and mom was the beneficiary and got all the estate, it was like, oh God, well, there's the icing in that case. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I totally agree. It's so funny that you said that because I'm like, I'm surprised that you said that because I'm like, I don't think that she was like using drugs, but that she had the behavior of an addict. Like, I know a lot of people like that.
Mhm.
And then you go to that. It's just so funny because I'm like, there's no way that you think that she was like using that. Yeah. But she's had the behavior. I had a friend like that who like never, she was a, like she had all this addict behavior. She even had like the understanding of like I'm probably an addict. I probably shouldn't pick up drugs
Mhm.
because she like knew it and knew her behaviors, and she was, yeah, exactly like that. It like reminds me of that totally. But that's so funny because I thought the exact same thing. Like I'm like, yeah, she's like addicted to, it's like the behavior, but she wasn't like, I think she was maybe had a fear of using drugs, so she didn't have like the
Mhm.
knowledge. I definitely think she like, you know, dabbled here and there. I think she liked like sort of having that like edgy like side. I think, you know what I
Sure.
mean? I think I don't know, like the lifestyle, so to speak, or whatever. Like she was always like asking questions about it. It kept coming up in conversation, like something has to do with drugs. I don't know. I
She
just
was
feel
more
like it was on her
defiant. She
mind.
was definitely more on the defiance scale, for sure.
Yeah, but I don't think she was like a psychopath. But I'm not a professional. But
Yeah.
that's just my opinion.
Well, I think the assumption is, and I'll tell you why people think it, right? So the assertion is that number one, she killed her husband, right? So if you're capable of murdering your husband for any reason, that puts you in like the right away. You go into that boat, right? Immediately.
Yeah,
But there are other reasons. I think the fact that she wrote the book, the fact that she
that's
tried to
about
like
that bad
cash
look. That
in
was a
on it.
bad look.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
that was a bad look. And it was funny because the police thought it was a bad look, and then to hear this juror how they were very like that really had seemed to affect them pretty
yeah,
hard. Like when they that kind of sent them over too. And to me, like I didn't really find that to be like super incriminating at the time. But I
right.
guess when you're because it kind of came out like the story, you know, that the story comes out and you like, and I'm always going to give someone the benefit of the doubt. So I don't look at it
Sure.
like, oh, if the cops say they murdered, it must be true.
No.
I'm not like someone who's doing that. So when the way it came out, it didn't really affect me. But then the way the evidence was presented, although I was slightly disappointed that they came back so quickly.
Yeah.
Not disappointed with the decision or anything, but I just felt like this case specifically deserved like
More time.
I guess if you're not in there, like, you know, they try to, it's like they understand that, but I guess if you're all like already like set on guilt, so like, and you don't think you're gonna change your mind, what's the point? I guess, but I don't know. I felt like at the last minute I got a little bit more info. It was like even just like people in your chat and stuff talking about like, you know, what it's like in that community. I was like, oh, they're gonna convict her, but I didn't think it was gonna be this fast. Whereas I feel like if that was out here, maybe they would have done it a little, like it would have been a little bit. I don't know. They're
I
just
also
nobody's
think,
thinking that about it like the way that like we discuss it. It's just they just see all the she must have done it. But I also think it was a really bad idea that the defense didn't put on any sort of case.
yeah. Oh,
That was
yeah.
like not good.
But
Bad luck.
also, you have to, I mean, Bloodworth literally set up the entire. So I know this because I didn't just watch these once. I went through heavy analysis of the prosecutor and his closing and then the
Yeah.
defense.
Yeah.
Heavy. And he literally had a PowerPoint. At the top of the PowerPoint was the charge.
Yeah.
Then below that was exactly what it said on the verdict slip they needed to come to a decision about, right? So like it was like,
Mhm.
okay, she's guilty of this, if this plus this or this. So it was all there.
Yeah.
And then underneath that, he laid
Yeah.
out the evidence and he laid out the quotes and he cited in the slide where that was for the jury to go find the evidence. So to me, if you believed him,
Yep.
he laid it, he
He gave
literally
you the
like
roadmap completely.
gave you the roadmap.
Yeah.
He literally
A
filled
lot of
out the
people felt
jury
that
slip.
way. It was it was genius how he had like like
Genius.
visuals like that. Like he like I was iffy with him, but like he's
Oh
alright.
yeah.
But like I think his closing was a little had some kind of, but like it was pretty good. I thought it did. He did. You know what I mean? I
Oh,
thought
he
it came. It
killed it.
was yeah. Like
Absolutely.
after I saw that, I was like, oh yeah. I couldn't even watch the other one too. Oh, no.
Oh, the other one was so bad. You have no idea. I just got
Oh
done
man. Yeah.
analyzing it, and it's worse. It's her closing was exponentially worse than the first time I heard it when I went back and I'm doing the analysis now. It's so bad that like at the end, you'll hear it eventually, probably. I'm referencing
Yeah.
aliens because
Yeah.
the likelihood of what she's proposing being true, I don't know if you guys caught it, but I have to tell you, she at one point literally points the finger by name at Corey Wright, the business partner of Eric Richens, as having more of a motive to kill Eric than Corey. She actually says that. Now, Corey Wright.
Him.
Do you remember who
That's
that is,
crazy.
everybody? Yeah.
That's crazy.
Remember Corey? So Cody, sorry, not Corey, Cody Wright. He's the guy who was talking about the Red Devils and Eric abusing Sudafed in high school, and he didn't know if that was an illicit drug or not.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So that's the guy she names as having a motive to murder Eric. It's like,
that's so dumb. Why'd she do that?
Are you kidding? Because this was like evasion, deflection, and literally throwing crap at the wall and just hoping that the jury takes it. I mean, it was bad, really bad, really
like
bad.
they could have done better. There was like
I know
a case maybe to be put on.
Correct.
There was no smoking gun. But like you said, if it was laid out, but if the other side doesn't put on any sort of case, then all you have is this guy telling you that's it.
That's right.
So it's like, I don't know. This isn't.
And
the
she was
case for that.
agreeing. She agreed that Corey bought the oxycodone from Carmen. So on one hand, she's saying, don't believe anything Carmen Lauber says because she's not credible. On the other hand, she actually says, well, Corey probably did buy all the oxycodone. It's like, okay, well, she's your client. Why don't you go over there and ask her, where are the drugs?
Yeah.
What did you do with them? So you bought 100 painkillers. Where did they go?
Where'd they go?
Can you go ask her? She's over there. She's your client. Right? I mean, if I'm the jury and I'm listening carefully to what she was saying, it would have infuriated me. I would have been and then
it
she's
seemed
thrown
like they were like mad, just getting more mad and like ready to explode by the end.
That's probably
That's
true.
how she kind of laid it out.
She also is completely does not know what she's saying. I have to go with ignorance instead of deception on this. But she's like, well, we know that Eric didn't take the fentanyl with the alcohol at the same time because they'd both be in his bloodstream then. And I'm like, did she just like, the quetiapine had to come after the fentanyl. So I'm like, okay, wait. So your argument is that Eric Richens, the guy that we've been hearing about this whole trial,
right,
came home from work, okay, took a street grade fentanyl, enough of a high dose to murder himself. Then he took a Seroquel, okay, like a antipsychotic sleep medication that would knock a small horse out. And then he was like, I know, I need some alcohol. And he went downstairs and he did some shots.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. That didn't happen, dear.
When he really didn't want anything to do with this $1 million house celebration, she claims that they did. That is like the fact that she said that when I saw that in the body cam, I was like, oh, she did it. Like, so there was no celebration. I don't even think that there was like, I don't know. I just, I watched the 48 Hours again today with the mom and the brother. She goes, oh my God, how did she put it when they were claiming they were like in Mexico and he was like buying drugs and they saw it and they both, the term, I don't remember. I was like, oh, I don't want to forget, but it was something like, oh, hey, you got any drugs? Or they were claiming, in other words, I don't know if it was the brother or the mother or both, but one of them was claiming that while they were like on vacation together, they witnessed him go up to somebody and say something along the lines of, "Hey, you got any drugs?" or something like that nobody would ever say if they were actually trying to get drugs, and they wouldn't say it in front of their in-laws.
Well, and if they did,
Like,
that
think
tells you
about it. I'm
something
on
more
their
about
like
the in-laws.
Mexican vacation.
And it wouldn't be fentanyl. Like so I went back and looked at the statistics. At that time, in 2022, the peak, that was at literally the peak of people accidentally overdosing of fentanyl in the state of Utah. That's like the peak time. It sort of peaked in 2014 and then stayed up until 2023, right? So, I mean, everybody knows that fentanyl kills you. So the argument that Eric Richens went to Mexico and said, "You know what I think I want? Hey, everybody,
Yeah, right.
you have fentanyl." Like, it's
No, but they're claiming that the words were some drugs. That's exact. That guy would be, if he was in Mexico, okay, picture this guy, right? If he was in that situation, like with his brother-in-law, he'd be saying some dumb shit like, excuse my language, but he'd be saying like, "Hey, yo, you got any like cocaina?" or something like that, right? Like this white, like gringo. Like,
but isn't
he wouldn't be like, "Hey, you got any drugs in Mexico?" Come on,
he has
bro.
a guide in Mexico, Eric Richens. Eric Richens has the reason he's talking to the guy on the night that he dies is because he hires guides to take him to Mexico. So he doesn't need to do that.
Oh my God, stop. He would just ask them.
That's who he was talking to. He wanted his horns from the last hunting trip in Mexico. The whole thing is, this is what I'm saying. Like, if none of this is logical, it's all ridiculous. And the more that you hear what she's saying and you really understand, like, you know, we're not talking about hydrocodone and the way she throws around fentanyl. It's like, we're not talking about naproxen. This isn't Advil. It's not, you know, Benadryl. We're not talking about the stuff that you get when you get your wisdom teeth taken out. We're talking about lethal at like times 5 levels of street fentanyl. It's
right.
No
like
joke.
She's going right from 0 to that. Like, there's
exactly.
Like, that's not something you just
Nobody
start
does
out
that.
like getting. You get that, like that. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah.
You do not do that.
There's no history. Like, I was sort of waiting for like one of them to have a history, and that didn't come in. And so that was a little, other than him in like high school and his like stupid problem. But this guy wasn't like,
he was solid as could be.
Yeah, he was like, his business would have been going down the drain. He would have been like not like riding ATVs next to his child on a horse until like the kid's asleep, like you know, the next morning.
That's right.
He would have been too busy like draining his business, and he'd have lots of like physical things to prove it going on when he died. Like, yeah.
She also makes the argument, and we're gonna, you know, we don't have to talk about this now, but she also makes the argument that, well, but it's possible that Eric had 5 times the legal limit because he'd been taking fentanyl for days. And I'm like, oh, geez, that's an interesting argument. And nobody noticed. Nobody noticed that Eric Richens was at his kid's soccer game in a full-blown knot. Like, nobody noticed while he's driving.
Right.
Like, this isn't.
Well, I was thinking like that. The only defense, like a defense that I thought they could have put on would have been that it was hers and that he took it by accident. Do you know what I mean? Like, she could claim, like, that is a defense she could have put on. Like,
she could have, but
like if she wanted to, but she didn't. The walk the dog letter kind of screwed her. But
you know why she didn't, though? Because it was too incriminating. That's why she didn't.
Right. That would have to. She'd have to claim. She'd have to basically own up to like have her own drug problems.
Right at the start.
Right. Immediately. But even if she didn't, and she could have put that on into trial. She could have. A lot of times, shit just comes out at like left field all of a sudden in a trial. Like, a client will stay quiet, and then all of a sudden, like, some crazy defense, and you're like, where's this coming from?
Yeah, I just think the whole thing is.
I mean, it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. than letting this guy like just own you.
I
and
think
tell
that
the jury the story out in Utah.
the defense though really believed their own. This is one of those examples where like you hang out with people who just feed you the same information that you already have.
Yeah.
They believed what they were saying to each other. They believed that the prosecution didn't have enough evidence. They misread the room very obviously.
How does that happen?
Well, I think the way I just said, you just only hang out with people.
I don't understand how like how do you, your life is on the line. I understand. Like, okay, Karen Reed was a good example. Like, I'm not going to use Alan Jackson. I mean, it's really sad that, like, it is hard to find a good, like, defense attorney. Like, that's sad, okay? Like, it shouldn't all have to be like Alan Jackson. You know what I mean? Like, he shouldn't be, like, 1 in a million. I mean,
no.
We love him, but, like, he's just, to me, like, a reasonable guy who's doing, like, the best he can at his job, and he's good at it. Like, and
yeah, but these were public defenders. I mean, I don't know that.
So what?
I don't know.
You can't be a good lawyer.
You could, of course,
be.
Absolutely. Good? That's a terrible thing for me to say. Of course, you could be a good lawyer.
I think they had nothing. They literally didn't.
I know. They misread the room. I mean, they fought really hard, and I think. Listen, Miss Lewis at the end.
I think she should have taken a stand because she was like.
I agree.
Like, are they not like watching YouTube at night? Because
I said the same thing. Yeah, because blood.
And look who's winning. People that are winning are.
You are right.
It's not. It's because this is a good representation of the
jury.
Yeah, exactly. Of the jury.
Yeah.
This 100%. Is like what they might be discussing.
Absolutely. You got it.
I think
That's
that
right.
They should be able
That's
to.
one of the great advantages, by the way, of the world now that all these lawyers live in on these high profile trials. Like we're all here. Just go out and watch social media. You'll get a sense for what everybody's thinking, right? I mean, it's
you can like learn how to become a lawyer.
Right. I know. Well, at least you can know what the freaking jury's probably thinking because you've got all of us
like
thinking
what the masses are thinking. You can even go to like just aiming at the demographic of wherever the trial is. You could, if you wanted, like
100%. Yeah.
It's you could find. I don't know.
Yeah. So Kate Bell at 25 is funny. Since 499, she says, "What redheaded white guy from Utah doesn't go up to cartel members and ask for fentanyl gummies?"
That's what I'm saying.
Of course, right? Oh my God. And that's another thing, by the way. So I did some homework for this because I just could not believe that the Mexican cartel is like loading up fentanyl into their weed gummies. Like
that's
I just
ridiculous.
So I went and I investigated this, and it turns out that is only happened one time in Pennsylvania in 2023, where there was a THC gummy bag that had fentanyl in it. And because of the fact that there was so many overdoses, there was a lot of warnings going out all over the country, and especially in Utah, where they were saying, look, anything could have fentanyl in it. Anything, cocaine, anything you buy on the street could have fentanyl. So be very, very careful because it's everywhere, right? So that was a general warning, but there was only one time where the feds put out a public statement saying, everybody heads up, we confiscated fentanyl gummies, THC. By the way, there was THC in it. THC was in the gummies also that also had fentanyl in it. But that's important because there was no THC. Now, THC is a drug that stays in the body the longest.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Right. So if you're Eric Richens and he was a lean guy, it wouldn't have been like my Big Papa lookalike who had it in his body for 10 months. But he would have had it in his body. If he had taken it 2 days ago, you would have had THC. So there was no gummies. I mean, and you notice they abandoned that whole argument.
Why didn't she give him those too? If she was going to immediately say some, like literally like 10 minutes after this guy's dead, she's throwing out marijuana gummies. So why isn't she giving him them to make sure that there's marijuana in his system? Does she not think that they're going to do like, no matter what I
don't know.
If you die of a specific, like of a suspected overdose, there's like, how dumb would you be to not automatically do an autopsy
good
with
question,
a toxicology?
it's not stupidity, it's impulsivity. I think she thought, well, he had been in Mexico a month ago. You know, like this is what
They
I was
would just
saying
buy the
recently.
overdose and they would never get that far. That's what I think she thought.
Well, she knew that, I'm sure people like this, and this is also what you see with addiction. Just to your point, Sharon, who asked this question, right? Like, or asked about what was she addicted to. So when somebody is in like an addictive mindset, the idea is like, I'm going to do what I want to do now, but I'll come up with a lie later that'll make sense and account for my behavior now. It's a way to, it's a form of rationalization that happens in the present and that actually you believe it. I have clients that still, even years after they've gotten clean and are very much, healed humans, still struggle with this one thing where when they want something, like for example, one of my clients, he has struggle going to work. He wants to call out of work and just like stay home and do nothing all the time. And in the moment, just before work, the thought comes into his head. He's like on probation at work because of his attendance. But he's like, oh, well, I'll just tell them that I am sick and I'll get a doctor's
so
note.
weird.
And it's like, in that moment, you just don't want to go. So you come up with an excuse for how it's okay.
Right.
I think that's what she did in that moment, right? Like, oh, well, don't worry. We're manipulative and smart enough that we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out along the way.
Along the way. I'll have a good excuse when I need to.
Probably because that was working to some extent in her life.
Of course. Yeah. She got away with the $250,000 for a period of time. I'm sure she stole a lot more from Eric than that.
I think had he had any sort of drug addiction problem in the past, she could have maybe like gotten away with this. But the fact that like there was absolutely no, like, it just, like you said, you don't go from like nothing to like this, and they're like celebrating with Moscow Mules. She's the one that got the drugs, yet she's not celebrating with him. It just, none of it made any sense.
Well, she was celebrating with him. So this is the thing.
Or taking the drugs with him. I mean, I don't get it.
So she was
what is she claiming? That he like killed himself, or she's just claiming nothing?
No. She's just claiming she has no idea how he got fentanyl in his body.
She doesn't know.
Defense is claiming that, well, he was in Mexico, so he probably just had a plug in Mexico. There's another factor, though, that's really also problematic for the defense, and that is at some point in the near past, he was taking naltrexone, a drug that actively blocks your ability to take opioid narcotics and get high. So that is also a problem. Whenever he was prescribed, I don't know. She says it had been a month. I don't know if that's true, but they find that bottle in his belongings and it was his prescription. Yeah. God only knows exactly why he had it. It could have been used as an argument. And again, another thing in her head that she could have been rationalizing, well, he has naltrexone. Now, I don't know if she knew what that was. Who knows? God only knows. These are not like the smartest people in the world. But it would have been so undermining if she tried to make the argument that he was an opioid addict, because he couldn't have been if he was taking that drug.
Right.
It's not possible.
It's not possible. Right.
In the near past, it wouldn't have been possible.
Yeah. Right.
So she really backed herself. This was a bad decision. She does not have good decision-making ability, obviously.
No, she would have been better off saying it was an accident and she's the drug user.
And if you look at the way she ran her business, I mean, like, I was laughing because I was looking at the timeline. She didn't have an accountant. She didn't have payroll. We're talking about a woman that was operating millions of dollars worth of, expenses and sales, right? Money coming in and out. It's hundreds and hundreds of thousands. I mean, she's, borrowing 80, paying out 50 in one day, and there is no accountant, nobody's putting her taxes together. Like, she has, Jackie, there's probably nobody on on earth that was this bad at money. Nobody. She's taking out
loans. Like listening to her phone calls about all the money coming in and how how she was like, I made $12 million off that $250,000, and
in
I own
property.
$12 million in real estate. And I'm like, yeah, she sucks. Like, not a likable human, I gotta say. Like, from
Well,
her journey to, like, have to, like, kind of.
yes.
Sorry, but it helps if they like you a little bit.
I think she believes it, though. I don't think
I
she's
tried to
saying
like
that.
her.
I think she believes that that's true. Like, I don't think that was I think she believed that in that moment. She's just nuts. Like, she's nuts.
Yeah.
She's on Seroquel for a reason. Like, she's not well.
Yeah. Yeah, she's not well.
She's not well.
I feel bad for the kids.
Oh, no. Andrea
Yeah, that's
Patterson says
terrible.
499 says, my sister passed away in November. I'm so sorry to hear that. How come the toxicology didn't come back yet?
Because it takes forever.
That's crazy
It
that
takes
it's
this long.
it's
That's normal.
November.
That's normal. I'm telling you, like, it takes a long time.
That is, I'm
Unless
so
they're
sorry.
like trying to speed it up. Yeah, no, that sucks. Like, I wish it didn't take so long because
just untimely death is just
Yeah.
actually, full disclosure, my sister and I, our aunt, our father's sister, who was young, passed away last night, right? So, and she certainly understood the struggle.
Yeah.
So she was
She
like,
was very
how I
sick.
know fentanyl lollipops exist in the world,
Yeah.
So
I was going to say it's very odd that we're having a fentanyl conversation today.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking in the back of my head, actually. Like, immediately, I was like, "Oh, that's what I walk right into." I'm like,
No. So
it is weird because that drug, and I guess, like, honestly, it was kind of a blessing when you think about it, Sam, because that was like right before all of like this.
oh, I know.
Like, people didn't know what it was. I was like
I
taking a
know.
prescription across like the state lines and like getting it signed off at like massive amounts. Like, it was nothing. Nobody even knew what it was. Like,
Yeah. No, right. I know
So
prescription fentanyl is like a little different thing because it's prescription and you know what
yeah,
it is. But in this case, I mean, yeah, the fact that it was so cheap to make and the fact that the China
so
and
strong.
Mexico so strong. And it's part of the problem is it's not regulated, right? So like if you think, and this is how people are dying exactly the way Eric Richens theoretically died, you think you're getting a 30 milligram oxycodone pill and it's fentanyl and forget it. I mean, you have no idea how much is in that pill. Could be 30 times whatever you think it is, right? And that's the problem with street drugs. So sorry to hear about your sister. That's absolutely horrible.
me
Just
too.
devastating. We'll be praying for you.
That's the worst.
It's terrible.
Really, it is. It sucks.
Unimaginably devastating. And we certainly have lost plenty of folks to drugs and alcohol. So
Yeah,
we are
too
with
many.
you. We get it, dear. We get it. Yeah, so I think, well, obviously, if you guys have more questions about Corey Richens, I'm happy to talk about it. It's a big case. And, it's interesting. I'm seeing all of now, after the fact, you're seeing all the news stories that are coming out on the case.
Yeah, of course.
Which I always think is funny.
Me too.
But we do have this Kelsey FitzSimmons trial coming up on Monday. Let's turn our attention. I'm going to pull
quick.
up.
That's wild. Monday already, huh?
It's quick. It's going to be a quick one, though. It's going to be a bench trial. Let's listen to her today. I think this was earlier today, talking about her decision to go with a bench trial. Let me, I have to stop this one thing and then pull up something else. Here it is. Okay. And here, what her thinking is, I think it's a great decision. I actually, mentioned it last week because to me, as soon as we saw how sympathetic he was to her, and of course he ruled in her favor, allowing her to prepare her home for her baby to come home, I right away was like, oh, this maybe should be a bench trial. So let's hear what she says. Hold on, let me, no. There's like 10 open links here. Do you guys see it yet? No. Okay, let me bring it up. Here we go. All right.
From the beginning, Kelsey FitzSimmons has just wanted the truth to come out about what happened on that day in June. And she's wanted a fair trial. She has decided, and we've talked with her about it, that trying to get to that fair trial, an option with the judge, is the most efficient and best way to do that. And so, as you can see, the judge made a full degree of her. Everybody has a right to a jury trial, but they also have a right to a judge trial. And we are prepared to start on Monday and move forward to make sure that the truth comes out. And we're confident that it will.
Why did you decide this was the better venue for the truth to come out? Like, why is the judge a better person to decide that than a jury?
So it's not a question of better or not. It's a question of knowing this case, the facts of this case, unusual facts, by the way, with 2 police officers involved. There is a certain amount of credibility that the fact finder has to make. And we thought it was important to make sure whatever we did with a jury or a judge, that we would be able to stick to the facts of what happened on that day. Kelsey has been transparent about what happened. She's spoken about it. There is sometimes in these cases a lot of excess noise around it. And it's important to her and to us, her counsel, to make sure, as we always do, that when we go to trial, we are going to have a fair finder of facts. And we just felt, all things being equal, really, that choosing a judge trial, what we call a bench trial, made the most sense in this case.
Is that a very specific question that needs to be answered in this case? Is that maybe a judge could do that more efficiently than a juror who might start to get cloudy if they're bringing in text messages from that day? And can you kind of elaborate on that?
Sure. Well, the judge's job in a jury trial is always to keep out extraneous information, to make sure that whatever comes in, whatever the decision is based on, is relevant and not too prejudicial. You heard some of that today, and the judge making those decisions. But because there is, in this case particularly, we think unusual circumstances, that keeping the focus, a laser focus on the facts. What does the evidence allow in? What's relevant? What's probative of what happened? And where we have 2 somewhat conflicting stories, shall I say, we felt that making sure that we could have a trier of fact who would focus on that. And look, I have a great deal of respect for that. Both Attorney Bradel and I have tried a number of jury cases, and they are interesting and they are important. And some cases are just better suited, we believe, for a judge to make a determination. As we've said, it is a simple case. We want to keep it simple. We want to keep it to the facts. And we believe with this option, that's what will happen.
Do you think it's still going to be a 3-day trial?
It could be. If we start Monday and we go full hours from 9 to 4, it is quicker with the judge, just because jurors sometimes are late and they need to take breaks, and that's not a criticism of them, they're people. But we think it can probably move a little more quickly. And so it's hard to know, but I would think maybe 3 days.
I think so.
So interesting.
Wow.
Very interesting. I mean, they're
so quick
here, but 3 days, you know, and I agree with them 100%. I think in their case, with this judge and the way that he's been handling these last couple of hearings, they made the right call. They don't have to worry about trying to keep information out, because the judge has all of the information. And I think in this case, that works to her benefit, which leads me to the text messages and audio that he had, I think, just ruled. And I believe that that happened before she waived her right to the jury trial, that he was going to allow these text messages in. And I've been asking Emily, because Emily C is like, you know, she's like, she knows everything. She's like my resource who knows everything. So I'm always like, Emily, explain this to me. I don't understand. Like, explain to me what is going on. Why is this guy all of a sudden turning on her? And you're going to hear some of the language in these phone calls. It's shocking, because it doesn't make sense. He's saying one thing, but the language is not indicative of somebody who's concerned about the things that he's saying he's concerned with, Justin Elaine. So it's hard not to make him the centerpiece of this case, because like, why? Well, maybe we should listen to the audio before we get into it, because here we are trying to piece together what is going on that's setting the stage for the shooting event. So there's this event. She's at home. She's with her baby, breastfeeding, apparently, by herself. And all of a sudden, her colleagues, her coworkers, who are also police officers, when earlier in the day she had been at the police station with the baby to introduce the baby to everybody, her plan was to go back to work the next day, literally, as a police officer. This is so mind-boggling to me. Like, I can't. This is what attracts me to this case. It just doesn't make sense. I cannot understand. Given everything we've seen about the cops in this community, this is the way this woman is being treated. Like, what is going on here? So this is all, and then these police, and wait till you see have you seen the guy, Jackie, Noonan? You seen the police officer that shot her?
I think so, but I don't remember.
You'll remember.
I think so.
I mean, he's, so these guys, these cops show up. They say, we're taking your infant out of your arms. And then Justin is there and they like hand the baby off to him. Could you imagine? Like, and apparently, so the argument that they had been making up to this point, now we don't know what the defense is going to be yet. At least I don't know. I haven't heard officially what their defense is going to be, but Kelsey's given us some clues. They're claiming that it was self-defense, right? That the reason why he shot her at close range was because he thought she was going to shoot him. But Kelsey the other day says, there was no gun. Not only I wasn't shooting myself, but I wasn't shooting him either. There was no gun. They had taken my guns. Now, I don't know if that's true, but that is what she said the other day. I know that she had just gotten her, I thought she had just gotten her firearm back. So I don't know what the truth is, but that is what she had said. And if there's not even a gun on that scene, oh my God, could you imagine? So, I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't.
You have to go like, what is going on here? What is going on here? These were her coworkers.
Yeah.
They're not just like random cops, right?
No, I'm looking forward to this case, though. I didn't realize it was this Monday.
It's Monday, yeah. So it should be 3 days. And it's a bench trial, so we won't have like all the jury timeouts
all the
and
BS with the
sidebars.
jury. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's way easier. It's
gonna
way
be
better.
way
It goes by
easier.
fast.
Way easier. So let's turn, Emily, I'm using your I'm using your audio from your account. So we're gonna turn to some of these phone calls and you tell me what you think, and then we will also take a look at the text messages. Text messages are a little bit more challenging to understand in their entirety without knowing the full context behind what's going on, but none of it makes sense. So, and to set the stage, what has happened to my understanding, and you guys in the chat are going to have to correct this. My understanding is she is at a bachelorette party for her, right? It's the first time that she's away from her baby. Things with Justin have not been great. I'm not sure to what extent. I know he had been cheating on her, all that. I don't know if she knows any of that. I don't know if that was information she had. Were just about to finalize a lease on a home for them and their son, the new baby. And there's a bachelorette party. At that party, she gets very, very, very drunk. It's alleged that she beat somebody up at the party. And he's claiming that she beat him up or hit him multiple times.
Okay.
So now, again, many of you may have a lot more information than I do on this, but just to be clear, you may have more insight than me, but that's sort of like the very loose, rough outline of the background. And that's important because what you're going to hear comes after that and maybe arguably in lieu of that. And actually, you know what? Before we look at that, let me show you this. Okay. This this was a handwriting analysis, but it is on 6/28/2025. This is Justin telling the story of what happened. So he is filing a complaint against her. I have known the defendant for 2 years. She used to work at the North Andover Police Department. We talked every day and lived together as of a few days ago. I was in the military and concluded my service in October of 2019. 6/28/25. Kelsey FitzSimmons is a danger to, and then it's blocked out, along with herself. I'm assuming it says him and the baby. On Saturday night, June 28th, Kelsey struck me with a closed fist 3 times to my face. This is Justin Elaine. I was scared. Yeah. I was scared she would not stop. My brother and sister. Yep. This is wild. This gets crazier. My brother and sister heard, I think it says, heard noises and heard noises and something. I was able to open the door and something is crossed out, grabbed my arm and ripped me back into the room. My brother and sister, something is blocked out. She said she didn't do anything. I feared for my life.
Stop.
I feared for my life. Have you seen Kelsey FitzSimmons? So I left, with a friend and stayed at a hotel. Okay. Fearing and her closest, something about family and her closest friends. I'm not sure what that says. That even after I felt she physically sorry, you guys, it's all blocked. Her friends called the Bethel police in Maine. Okay. So some of her friends called the police in Maine and in North Andover because they thought she was a danger to herself. Kelsey, at 2 a.m., while heavily intoxicated, started fighting her friends that she would leave to get the baby. Her parents took our son from my parents in the middle of the night, saying they didn't come what manic state she was in. They didn't know, I guess, what manic state she was in. We're taking the baby to her. I don't know. Today, Kelsey is threatening to take the baby far away from here for a long time. Apparently, she was threatening to go to New Hampshire, which is a cabin in New Hampshire, which is, of course, the state north of Massachusetts, about 40 minutes from North Andover, from what I understand. So this is the complaint that he was waging against her. Okay. So that's the paper version. And this is so that's that. Because you're going to see. I don't want to give anything away. So now let me play the audio and you guys can tell me what you think. And it's so unbelievable. This is even something we have to talk about. This is a police officer. I remind you that this woman is a police officer who had a baby, was suffering from postpartum. Probably what she's suffering from is having a huge asshole for a baby's father. Like, I'm now questioning whether she had postpartum and whether what she had is Justin Elaine asshole syndrome. That sounds like it might be a more accurate assessment of the situation. Just saying. Yeah. Like, what an asshole this guy sounds.
Yeah.
Wait till you hear his voice. Wait till you hear this. Did you see the weed videos of him?
No.
Did you see, Jackie, there's 200.
Stop.
Bradle sent 270 clips of Justin Elaine smoking weed, like ducking into the back of the house.
Oh, yeah. No, I did see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He would go out in the corner and smoke that. Yeah, totally. I was like, it took me a minute. I was like, what? I was confused at first. I was like, what am I watching?
That's what
And
you're
then I was like, oh my God, this guy's like
firefighter.
going outside like all the time. Like, I'm like, this is bad. Look, like this guy's like secretive and like all sorts of like just that.
He's bad
He's
news.
like that guy, you know?
He's bad
He's
news.
like
This
that
guy.
guy. I don't even know how to explain it.
He's bad news. This
That
guy.
guy.
He really, really is. All right. So let me go to this. We're going to Emily. We're going to your X count because you are so beautifully provided us with the audio. So we're going to go see Emily. Hi, Emily.
That's cool.
All right, here we go. So this is Lieutenant Scott Whitaker, June 30th, 2025 at 2:10 p.m. You guys hear that? Not yet. Sorry.
Just call, unfortunately. Yeah, Justin, it's me.
All right, let me.
Okay,
good. You have to
Hey, this is Justin again. I'm just calling Lieutenant Whitaker back. I just missed this call, unfortunately. Yeah, Justin, it's me. Oh, okay. How you doing, sir? I had a couple quick questions for you again.
Yeah.
So she's messaging me telling me that she's planning on taking the baby up to the land in New Hampshire. Do I have any rights to make sure that she does not leave with that child?
At this point, I don't think we do. I've spoken to my superior.
Yeah.
Filled him in on everything that we talked about, and we don't really have the right to deny her child.
Do I have any father to obtain my child since she's had him for several nights now? Do I have any right to, hey, this is the custody, we're both parents here. It's almost my turn to have the kid for the night, so
It's my
I
turn.
can know that he's safe and I can go file.
That's who?
It's my turn.
Through the police.
Wait.
It's my turn to have the kid for the night.
Yeah, but like, no, it doesn't sound like that's actually true. It sounds like they don't have any.
No, listen to what he said though. This is a guy trying to argue that he should have rights to his newborn child. Okay.
Right.
And the way he's arguing it is like, do I get rights to the kid? What? It's your infant son. Like, it's not a football. We're not just going to toss it back and forth, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, this is like ridiculous. Like, what? Like, I don't even. First of all, like, who talks like that's ridiculous? Even this guy, who's saying we don't like they're on a team or something, and then even this guy's like, come on, bro. Like, yeah, we can't really deny her. Like, he doesn't know how else to say it, but like, you're a dumbass. But like, he's like, doesn't want to because he wants to be on his side.
He also is using we. So Lieutenant Whitaker is on Justin's team because he's saying we, right?
Yeah. That's what I mean. He's like, that was crazy. I'm like, what? He's like, no, we haven't quite come up with a plan or whatever.
Right.
And then he says something stupid, and the cop's like, I got to deal with this guy, but like, he is. Like, this is, you know what I mean?
But this is her coworker. These are her colleagues also.
Right.
Like, she's a police officer, right?
Right.
So,
well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, I don't have any idea. Like, was this guy specifically her friend?
Yeah, nursing baby for exactly. Earlier in the same.
I mean, how would that? Like, that's fun. That's like laughable stuff. Like, you don't get an infant baby. Like, yeah, we can't get a like, yeah, no shit. Like, that's a stupid joke.
No, it's not a joke. I mean, that's what he was doing.
No, right. Well, it's like, I mean, this guy's a fool.
I mean,
this guy's like a total like.
He's like a clown, like the clown of all clowns.
He's like maybe like his intelligence level is like very maybe like I don't know really low on the IQ scale. Like I think it's got probably a low IQ.
It's more than that because it turns
that's what I'm trying to say, but I don't know. You know what I mean?
Turns out that his mother is another variable. That mom and he's got his two siblings, a brother and a sister, and they all live at home still, their parents' home. And mom has like, I need a baby syndrome. So she adopted.
Oh, no.
Yeah, she fostered a child. I don't know how old that child is, but I think that child is also older independent. Well, not independent, but older, and wants this baby. Wants that baby to be hers. I mean, this is like really sick people. These are really sick, dangerous people because you're going to hear it. So let's keep listening. This goes on. There's more. There's a lot more of these, and then there's mom too. It's a disgrace.
Oh, this is great. This is like super entertaining.
Right, I know. Okay, here we go.
So she's messaging me telling me that she's planning on taking the baby up to the land in New Hampshire. Do I have any rights to make sure that she does not leave with that child?
At this point, I don't think we do.
I don't think we do.
Superior.
What was that?
Filled him in on everything that we talked about, and we don't really have the right to deny her child.
Do I have any rights as a father to obtain my child since she's had him for several nights now? Do I have any right to?
This guy's voice is
for several nights.
We're both parents here. It's almost my turn to have the kid for the night, so I can know that he's safe and I can go file these after.
Through the police department, no, we don't have that ability. The only way that you would be able to do that if you spoke directly to her and said, you know, I'd like some time with the baby, and if she agrees to that, great. But it sounds like she's
not
probably not going to
do that.
I have my sister who
Hey
had a quick question for you as well.
I've seen a lot of this, and so I'm on the page of we need to get the baby out of her hands like now, or something really bad could happen. And I know you guys have talked a bit about this, but I am just wondering, is there any difference if you were?
And so here's the thing. We're going to look at the text messages too, but you have to ask yourself, like, what's going on here? We have to get the baby out of her hands like now. Because you got drunk and slapped your brother in the face. That's the reason. This is this doesn't make any. There's something just very seriously missing from the story, right? These are not grounds. Because I got drunk at my bachelorette party and got in a fight with my soon-to-be husband. What is that? How is that going to stop me from nursing my child? Like, this is so messed up. Just none of this is making any sense, right? And then the fact that these other cops are colluding with them.
I know. What was that?
What is going on? Wait, this isn't over. Hold on. Wait, let me play it.
If she were to try to take the baby out of the state, does that go against anything? Because that's what she's threatening with. Does the state matter at all? The state line?
It really doesn't. It's her child.
It really doesn't.
Okay.
Her child.
Yeah.
One other question for you, because I think, we're talking about going to the courthouse. How do we, and especially because she is a police officer in this town and everyone talks, and I'm just wondering, if we go file this, how do we, because if she finds out that this is filed before it's being addressed, it's going to end really horribly. So how do we actually ensure, and I guess, do you know anything about that process? Would a police officer come with us or with Justin to the house to get the baby? If this is assuming the custody was ordered, that the restraining order and the custody were ordered, what does that look like? Because we're very worried she'd find out before it could actually take place.
Yeah. So if that's the case, then the way, if an order is granted, they will then email a copy of the order to us for service. So we would serve it and then enforce it. So it would be like, here's your restraining order. Per the order, custody of the child is awarded to Justin, in which case we would have to make arrangements, for him to come take the child.
Okay, so he would not be there when you're presenting that. I mean, this might be an obvious question, I guess, because if he has the restraining order, he shouldn't be there.
Probably not. I mean, we should probably take care of that. It's okay if he wants to be close by, in order to take custody of the child quickly.
Right.
He could come if he's in town. We could then reach out to him and say, okay, she's been served. You can come pick up the child now.
Okay. One, just to I guess make sure that, because I know you guys will get notified if there is an emergency order put through. She's an officer, of course. What does she have access to see? I'm just is there a way to flag this directly to the trusted?
No, when it gets sent to the officer in charge. So nobody sees that except the officer in charge and anyone else who has access to that email, which she does not.
Okay, so that's reassuring. So I'm just trying to make sure there's no chance she could find out before this happened.
Did she catch wind
Why
while
can't
she was
she
at
find
the
out?
police station of anything occurring? Like,
Nope.
no, okay.
Nope. I didn't want to tip her off and give her the opportunity to do anything.
Why? Why
Because
not?
they're taking the baby.
All right, officer, I appreciate your
That's
time.
why.
Thank you.
Very good.
This
Thank
is
you.
a plan to take the baby. They're
But
planning
that's
to go to
crazy.
the house to take the baby, and they don't want her to find out ahead of time because then she's going to leave with the baby. That's
Yeah, but
why.
how can you just do that?
Good question, sister. Great question. I think that's the $1 million question. So apparently, again, you know, this goes back, I'm sure, to the state of Massachusetts and what an absolute disgrace that state is. My understanding is that it's like a 10-day, somebody else in the chat will know this, but it's like a 10-day order where you essentially claim that the other parent is a threat to the child. Then there's like a 10-day like evaluative period, I guess. But because she got shot during that period, because this is when she gets shot, the police go to get the baby and she gets shot, and then she's in the hospital for 3 days.
Right,
He
because
just
they,
de facto
because
gets
they,
custody.
yeah, because she didn't want her to know. So that's a little dangerous, don't you think?
I mean, he didn't
understand
want
why
her
you
to
don't
know
do
because
that.
he knew that if she knew, she was going to fight it. Of course. I mean, the whole
Yeah,
thing
like
is
that's why I'm like this whole like I don't understand this. Like this, there's no way this girl's gonna lose.
I would hope not, but we're going to find out.
She better not. I mean, she better not.
All right, well, let's see. Let's hear this.
Northern Police Fire, this
I
call
like
is recorded.
these. These are good.
Hi, this is Justin
These
Elaine.
messages.
Here's more,
I'm
Justin.
on the north end.
Wait, hold on. Let's rewind it.
I'm a dumbass. My name's Justin. Oh, who's this?
Wait, hold on. This is Sergeant Katie Garrick?
Okay, I can't.
July 2nd, 2025, 9:45 a.m.
Is this person also like colluding to take the baby?
Well, listen, I don't know. We're gonna find
Northern
out.
Police Fire, this call is recorded.
Hi, this is Justin Elaine. I'm on the North End Fire Department. I am off duty right now. I do need to speak with the OIC.
Yes, sir. Hold on 1 second, please.
Hey, is this Justin?
Yes, this
Hey,
is.
it's Katie. How are you? I mean, that's a silly question. But
Hey, how are you?
I digress.
Oh my
I do
God.
care.
No, I'm doing as well.
Thinking
as I
about
can be
you
right
guys.
now.
Yeah. So what can I do for you, Justin? What's that?
I need to discuss my options of retrieving all of my belongings from Brooksbrook.
Oh, gotcha. I gotcha. Well, it's your house, so you know, I'm assuming that you know, you can make whatever arrangements if you just want us to because let's just say if this were, you know, a scenario we deal with in any other case, it, you know, with restraining orders, there's nothing barring you from returning to your own property except for your own safety. So I can't, you know, we don't have any jurisdiction and we don't even navigate about mutual property. So when we get restraining orders, you know, people have to, you know, commonly the defendant would ask to, it's different in this case because you may be in stow, from what I understand. But any property that's in there is between you, Kelsey, and civil courts. It doesn't have anything to do with us. We have no jurisdiction to say what can't be removed, what can be removed.
So am I able to go to the house with a bunch of fire buddies and remove my belongings?
Yes. We have no jurisdiction on that.
Oh yeah, you can break right
Are
in.
you in communication
No
with
problem.
her family and things like how?
No, I am in no communication with her family whatsoever.
Yeah. Do you know if they're at the house at all? That would be my only thing. If you wanted to go, you know, if you feel like they're there, and I mean, it's your house. So
Not
truly,
really his
you
house,
can
though, is
go
it?
in there anytime you please. And let's just say hypothetically they were there and they get all bent out of shape about that.
So in order to get the restraining order, my understanding is he has to claim that he lives at his parents' house. And so he has given up remember, she's got the house in her name because I think she just buys that house, from what I remember. She like just purchased it, and he's not on it. And he
So it's not his house at
literally
all?
takes himself off of the, no, not his house. And he gives up his residence there because he wants to get the restraining order. But then when he calls this woman, cop, he calls her basically to get her approval to go into the house. And he does, she doesn't realize that's not his house because she doesn't know what's going on. Right.
Right.
So she's like, sure, you can go into your house and get whatever you want, This woman, by the way, winds up suing this police department for sexual harassment. I don't know what the outcome of that is. Oh, no.
After this? Between then and now?
After that. After this. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Not after this. Before this. This is July 2nd of 2025. So this was, she sues in 2023. I'm sorry. I don't know why I got 2022.
Already happened?
What's that?
Oh, so she already went through that, and she's like still
Apparently,
working on it?
because I saw, I went and looked
How
her
can
up.
people break into houses that aren't theirs? That's wild. This is wild. I didn't know. Like, I knew like the basics of the story, but I didn't know the details. Like this.
We're still not even scratching the surface. There's a lot more.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
no,
Okay,
I'm-
here we go.
What you could do is just call us for us to explain that to them.
Right. So she's saying, tell the
So
family.
My only concern would be I
They
know
do not
they're
want to do that.
blaming me for a lot of this situation.
Yeah, I get it.
I know they're
Yep.
blaming me.
There,
Yep.
or the potential
Trying to get around it.
retaliation or any of the sort.
Yeah. So
Um,
you can play it however you want it to play it. I'm going to leave that up to
play
you.
it
One option would be to shoot them a text or anything, and like, just so you know, I'm going back to the house to pick up some belongings.
They would
say no, absolutely
I'm
not.
pretty sure they would show up.
Yeah. Okay. So what you may want to do is just go do what you got to do. I can't keep you from there, nor would I want to. It's your house as well. It's your property.
So it's technically the deed is in her name.
Sure. Sure.
No, it's not
But
my
you're
house.
like
obviously a resident of that house.
Yes, you have legal standing in there as far as the civil courts are concerned. You have keys, you have access. I know you live there. We know you live there. We're not going to stand in your way from collecting your property. If
I didn't know that.
Go and do your thing.
She doesn't.
And just if you get there and
Unbelievable.
someone's there, we can, before you even go into the house, you
my
could call us and, meet us over at the school parking lot area and be like, they're there right now. Can you send someone by to keep the peace? And we'd be happy to do that for you. We do that all the time.
Okay.
Especially if the roles are reversed.
yeah.
If you had been asked to leave the house, we do.
But here's what's really going on, right? Because he doesn't really want the police there, because what he's really going to go do is take her shit out of that house, right? Because this is when he goes in with the friends and he takes out his stuff, but it winds up including like her computers. Eventually, he then goes into her bank accounts, her pension documents, changes the beneficiary, steals money out of her bank. Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, he's a horrible piece of absolute garbage. So what he's looking for is a police escort to break into her house and take her stuff. That's what's going on right now. And he's trying to get an okay from this absolute, look at the fucking, excuse my language, award-winning police department in the state
Once
of
again,
Massachusetts.
I know.
Are you kidding me? I mean, what goes on in Massachusetts, everybody? I cannot.
I don't know. I don't know why I live here. I gotta get out of here. I'm on a one-way train out. I'm trying, man. Hard.
At least you're on the western. I have to tell you.
Yeah, like I'm nowhere near. I'm as far away as you could possibly be
like
from
east
these
versus
people
west,
and still be
though.
in Massachusetts. Yeah.
It's bad. It's eastern Massachusetts is like, I don't know what is going
It's
on.
different. It's like a different zone for sure, but
This is like the caliber of police officers, though. This is what you're gonna get. Awesome.
No,
Nice
it's
job.
bad.
Good job, Sergeant
bad.
Katie.
this all the
What a
time where,
scumbag.
the person who has resided there has a legal right to grab things.
This is the coworker of.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get as many
Kelsey.
friends as I can.
That's what I don't
Get
get.
out of
That
there.
like they like this dude better. I
After
don't get
she
it.
was
Yeah,
caught.
so if you end up being there and either if they're there already, my suggestion would be to kind of head over to the parking lot of the school and we can break the ice, keep the peace, be like, hey,
We can break the
has
ice.
every
Is
right
that
to
what you
grab
said?
things, and
Oh my God.
you
That's
should
horrible.
cooperate with this because it's just why create more issues. I mean, it's not
Yes, why do that?
That's a good question.
when you're
Yeah.
in yourself for
That's
quite a
exactly
bit
what
of
he's
time.
doing.
So we could break the ice first if you'd rather
What a
just do
piece
it
of
that
shit
way
this
and
guy is.
hope that they're not there.
Break the ice.
And then
Yeah,
if they
I'll do
show up
that.
while you're there, just try to keep cool heads and just call us and we'll send someone right over to keep the peace, just
Okay.
don't even mention anything and just or be like, the police will come down and we'll sort this out.
Okay.
I'm not trying to create any, more difficulties for any of us. And let's just call the police. They'll come down and help us. No
Okay.
need to
Come down and help us.
How
you
is
know,
this
sometimes
woman
things get
going to
very
help
emotional.
anyone
What's wrong
and
with this?
do anything?
Difficult. So, but
There's
That's a
no
very good
awareness
question.
at all as to what's
No,
happening at any
none.
level.
I'll hang out for
Keeps
a minute
talking.
and we'll call the police to help us tell us. And that's
Okay,
what we would
understood.
say. And what we'd say to the family is,
Oh
you
my
know what,
God.
we're just trying to, he has a legal right to grab what he wants out of the house. He resided here. The son's in his
Resided.
custody,
Oh,
so you got to grab the baby's things.
that
I'm
was an
sure.
admission, by the way.
Okay.
She just admitted she
So,
knows he doesn't
and if
live
there
there.
is down the road like any dispute on property, what we would tell her, like if she says, "Oh, my 50-inch
That's a good point.
on, he took it," we would just tell her that
You just gave him
There's a
permission to
man
take
in
it
the
to home and take whatever he wants.
Okay. Yeah. No, I
Right.
just want my tools, my clothes.
right.
I don't
Yep.
have any of my
Right.
stuff. So.
Does anybody
Yeah,
remember
you
him
have your
leaving the house
weapons.
with
I know. I
tools?
feel really bad for the
Right,
baby.
yeah,
Like,
you
is
have
the,
all
is the baby with him right
Yep.
now?
All from the house
Yeah.
the night
Oh,
prior.
oh
Yeah.
God,
So
that's why the baby's crying.
that any property
Oh,
we
I
would
don't
just
like it.
take a
It's making
She's
me
report
still
from
uncomfortable.
talking.
they talk to the courts because that's not our purview.
Okay. Understood.
So if you're not going to
Thank
give
you
them
very
if you're not going to give them a heads up, which is your right to, it's not my business to tell you what to do. That's not our jurisdiction because you don't have an order out against you.
Right.
And you have legal standing in that house.
No.
Just call us if you happen to
Doesn't
see
though.
their car there.
Yep.
And we'll meet you before and break the ice with them prior, and then
No
we'll
legal
go from there.
standing.
And if
Okay,
they show
sounds
up,
good.
just call us. Just say, hey, I'm trying to get some property. Can you just send someone to keep the peace?
Oh my God.
So even though I have a
Oh, this
temporary
is rough.
restraining order right now,
This
I am
is
still
rough.
allowed to go to that house.
Yeah, the restraining order is on her. Yeah, it's not keeping
It's
you
on
from
her,
going
okay.
back. Yeah. hmm
Okay, understood. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, the restraining order doesn't bar you
Okay.
from breaking
All right.
into
You
her
got it,
house.
Justin. Call back
Totally
if you need
okay.
any help, okay?
Why
And I
are they
really,
like,
I
oh,
do
it's
feel
so
for
good.
you. And,
If you
you
need
know,
us
I
to help you
know
break
that
Okay,
you
in,
struggle, but
honey,
no
I know.
problem.
I'm, a
Like
lot of
one
us
of those.
support you, and we're all,
Whatever you need, honey.
Yep.
terrible. What you're
Awesome.
going through.
Yeah, no,
So.
You know what? We all need
Yes,
coworkers
yeah,
like this
nightmare.
woman,
And
right?
well, I
I
support
do,
you,
yeah.
and you're so kind to everybody. So anything you
Oh,
need, let me know. Okay.
we support
Okay,
you,
thank you so
and
much for your time. I
you're
really
You got it.
so
appreciate it.
Yep. Take
kind
care.
to
Bye-bye.
everybody.
All right.
Well, isn't she a gem?
Oh, what?
That's what she just said. Well, we support you because you're so kind to everybody.
Wow. That's something. That's
Like,
weird.
oh my God.
Who says that?
Apparently,
This
this
is all
sergeant
weird.
at the where is this? At the North Andover Police Department.
Police and fire, been recorded.
Here's a
Hey, this is
lieutenant.
Justin Elaine,
July
off-duty
3rd.
firefighter. Can I speak to your OIC?
Hold on, sir. Please.
Lieutenant Soys, can I help you?
Hi, this is Justin Elaine. I'm going to 125 Phillips Brooks to retrieve all of my belongings today with other members of the fire department.
I'm going to break in.
I had spoken to Sergeant Gerke yesterday about what would happen if she said I had full authorization to retrieve all my belongings, and if her family shows up to call for a police officer. Given the intense nature of what has happened in that house and what her family has already been trying to do,
I need to request a police officer there at
sorry,
9:30 when I show up.
What exactly did her family try to do? What did her family try to do? She was shot in her own home by these police officers, this department, because he made up some ridiculous story about her not being
unfit.
not being safe, being an app, being
Like she's gonna harm the baby.
dangerous to hurt herself or the baby, that she was going to hurt herself or the baby. That's what the claim was.
And she didn't know about any of this?
No. No,
she had no
thought
idea
they
that
were-
any of this was happening.
She was at a bachelorette party for their engagement.
Right. Okay,
You're going to
that's
see
what
the
I
text. I'll show you the text after this. There's one more after this, and then I'm going to look at the text messages. But no, it doesn't sound like she knew that things weren't great, but she's like, when are you coming home? Like, it's our home. She's like wanting to nest with this guy still. And he's just like the clown of the world, this guy. Really.
He was just trying to steal the baby behind her back?
No redeeming qualities in any way, shape, or form. Now, my understanding is, I'm not sure he was trying to steal the baby. I'm not sure what
What's his motive?
was. I don't know.
Yeah, like what's he trying to do?
I don't think he was trying to shoot her. Like that's, I don't think he was trying to get full custody, and I'm not exactly sure what the motive was. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, like what is it, you know what I mean? I'm looking
don't
forward
know.
to this trial.
Okay.
I don't know if we're going to find out.
We're going to be there for 2 hours, and given the potential and the intense nature of what happened there, I don't know what
What does the
happened.
chat
I
say
don't
the
know what they
motive
would
is?
do, and I'm going to have to request that a police officer is there.
Okay, yeah, we have.
I'm gonna have to
Can you hold on one
request that
second?
a police officer is
Yes, sir.
there.
Thank you.
Good
His
question.
mother is the motive.
It's such a good question. You guys are so smart. I'm starring these questions for you guys. I know. You're so right.
He's got another girlfriend? Is that true?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So she thinks that they're like gonna like live happily ever
I'm
after?
told that the plan is if anybody does show up to give us a call, we'll be there immediately. We're very limited today on staff, but if there's any issue at all, we'll be there momentarily.
All right, I'm going to have it noted that if something does happen, I requested 2 times for a police officer to be there from the beginning. I want that noted because I will escalate this further, because this is not right given the situation that occurred in that house and the potential for something else to happen.
What
My family could have
occurred?
never been in that position in the first place.
She was
Now I'm
shot.
requesting something that should be placed there, and you're
This
telling me
has already
no
happened. This is
every
after the
time?
fact, you're saying?
That right there is
Oh, yeah.
not right.
Justin, it's Katie. We spoke
Okay.
yesterday.
We
You
did
asked
speak yesterday.
Huh?
We did speak yesterday. Given the intense nature of this situation and what could occur, I'm gonna be there for 2 to 3 hours. I know what her
3
father's kids
hours?
I know what could happen.
But you,
Pressure media are there. I'm just
and
telling you.
I understand the stressful situation, but what we spoke to yesterday was that we weren't going to prevent you from going in the house, but if something happened, you could call us right away and we'd be there just to. That was what we
Okay.
spoke.
No, we did speak about that, and after thinking about it again, I wanted to make my concerns noted 2 times. So if something does happen, if something does occur, this will be noted, and I have no problem escalating it further. I appreciate your time. Thank you, and have a good
What
day.
time do you go over there?
I will be there at 9:30 with 5 or 6 other men. It's going to be
5
a couple
or
hours.
6 other men for a couple of hours?
There was no.
What?
Certain time, Justin, I understand.
I understand that. I went through Crystal as well. I asked Crystal. Crystal said she would ask as well. That never coming back to me. This is a formal request. I called yesterday. You gave me this information. I'm calling again this morning, and I'm telling you that. You guys do last minute details every single day. This is a last minute detail. Yesterday would have been a detail that was not last minute.
Would you like a detail?
I am not paying for a detail.
Okay, all right, I'm
My
just
family
trying to-
should have never been in that situation. My child and myself should have never happened. I will absolutely
child?
do whatever I have to do. If I'm saying that,
My child and myself should have never happened. That's what he just said.
What?
My
This
child
dude is
and
something,
myself
man.
should have never happened. So
yeah, is this guy for real? Seriously.
what I am hearing from him, so this is preliminary, but my assessment so far of him is that this was really about not wanting to be married, not wanting to be in a relationship. So he doesn't necessarily want the baby either. His mother wants the baby. He just wants to get away from Kelsey, and the baby is like the thing that's gonna get him away from her.
Yeah.
The thing he's using to kind of
Just
get away
using it to create like a situation to get away from her.
situation to get away from her. Isn't
That's
really
really interesting.
clear about the baby. I mean, now the baby's his mother's baby, right?
Yeah, the mom wants the baby. It seems to
This
be like
guy-
the mom. That's the.
How many
that's
hours
what's
a week
happening.
do we think this guy is watching his child? Right? This guy
No.
who we all just watched ducking outside 270
Smoking
times
bowls.
smoke weed over 3 months. And this is the custodial
Oh,
parent
he's
right now.
definitely leaving the baby like
This
in.
baby.
Yeah, while he's going out to take his smoke break.
Are we serious?
Like, where's the baby?
Right. Yeah.
Why? This is like
Where's the
really
baby?
like messed up.
This is where she worked. Oh my God. I just hope that she not only gets that child back, but that she sues the pants off of all of these people.
Yeah,
because
seriously.
They
It's
deserve to
crazy.
rot in hell. All of
Yeah,
them.
they do. They sure do.
They really do. And what exactly? We read the report. You guys read it. She closed. This is his argument. She closed fist, punched me in the face 3 times. I was scared for my life. This is the little, you know what? Like,
Yeah.
baby man-child disgrace.
Yeah.
Absolute pathetic individual who doesn't have the balls to say to Kelsey, I don't want to be with you anymore. So instead, he stages this whole event that ends up getting her shot because he didn't
Which is insane.
say, I don't want to marry you. I want to go
Yeah.
abscond with some
It sounds like it. And his mom wanted the baby. It sounded like his mom was putting a lot of pressure on him, his family.
I'm not sure if that happened after though or before. Like, it sounds like now that's true. I'm not sure that was true. Like, it might have been. I'm sure, Emily, you can tell me this, but I'm not. It seemed to me like the mom, after she got a hold of that baby, now doesn't want to let it go.
Yeah.
Him go as the like
That's probably
before,
it. Yeah.
right? Like before, I'm not so sure because there hadn't been enough time. How long was she back from the hospital? It was like days, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think there was a lot of time. No, I guess it wasn't days. She'd been home a few months. I'm
No,
sorry.
this is like angering, though. This is like angering.
Yeah, the baby was 4 months old. So she had been home. They had been together. She had been with the baby for a few months. I'm just trying to put it all together. I mean, this has been kind of unfolding for a long time, right? Ugh, such a frustrating. And then that judge, she couldn't blow into the freaking. Do you know, Jackie? Did you know this? I just learned this week. She has to blow into that scram device 4 times a day. A day.
What?
A day. A day. And there's no alcohol involved in the incident. She wasn't drinking. She wasn't drinking when she got shot. No alcohol. There was a claim by a girlfriend that she drank at some point in the past and that she was aggressive. Oh, okay. Well, your drinking aggressive friend is a police officer, so she's okay enough to be a North Andover cop, but she's not okay enough to take the child that she has just given birth to and be a parent. That's the argument. I mean, it's so maddening. And then they shoot her. Then they accuse her of a horrible crime.
Yeah.
She's shot, right? Almost dies in the hospital for 3 days. She gets out. She's out a few days. And the judge thinks she's trying to get one over on her because she can't blow into the device without her lungs hurting, being in so much pain. The probation officer, everybody saw it, witnessed it, and vouched for her. And the judge is like, no, I think you're trying to get one over on me, and puts her in jail. These people are an absolute disgrace. It's disgusting. It is a disgusting disgrace.
Yeah, this is pretty bad.
And these are law enforcement. These are judges. And I thought freaking Norfolk County was bad. This is like, yep. Welcome to Massachusetts, everybody.
I don't feel comfortable, and I don't want to put my brother again, my
disgusting
friend in a situation where something could occur. If you knew what happened, I don't know what her family would be capable of at this point. They've already filed negligence against me as the father when there has been nothing.
Listen to this guy.
I don't know what
I can't stand his
I don't know
voice.
what they would be capable of. But if you want to wait and
I
find
don't
out,
know what they
that
would
is on
be
you.
capable
And I'm
of?
glad this is a recorded line.
You're breaking into their home, and now you're
Glad
threatening
this
the
is a
police.
recording line.
So I will be there at 9:30. If you do not have someone there, all of my concerns have been noted. Thank you for your time and goodbye.
Listen to him threatening the police.
I know. What is wrong with this guy?
Well, he's entitled. I mean,
He's
apparently,
he's entitled. That's it. Yeah, it sounds
He's
like all the
entitled.
idiots I know out there that
Yes.
act like that.
All right, here's
Like,
got
for
one
what
more left.
and for what reason?
Well, I'm sure there's all kinds, but let's listen to what he
His
says.
head. Oh, it's this guy again.
This is Justin Elaine. I need to speak to the OIC.
I'm sorry, who is this? Oh, who is this? Hello?
Huh?
This is great.
Goes on for 4 minutes.
North Andover Police and Fire calls being recorded.
Huh?
Hello?
What's going on?
Hello? Police Department. Hello?
To my fucking Chevy, though.
North Andover Police and Fire lines recorded.
This is Justin again. Can you please bring the OIC?
Yes, sir. Just give me a moment, please.
What did he say before that?
This is Justin again. I need to speak to an OIC.
No, before that, he was like swearing.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. On hold.
Yeah, I
Good
know.
morning.
that
This is Lieutenant Whitaker.
Lieutenant Whitaker, this is Justin Elaine. I'm at 125 Phillips Brooks right now, retrieving my belongings.
Okay. Hello?
All right. And?
Hello, Justin? Justin, are you still there?
What is this?
Hello, Justin?
Say that again, sir.
Justin, you still there?
I'm still there. It connected to my truck for some reason.
Oh, I thought it was my phone was messing up or something. Yeah,
No, I
so you
apologize.
said that you were over on Phyllis Brooks gathering some belongings?
Yep.
This is
Grabbed my
crazy.
belongings. The alarm did go off. They changed the lock. The alarm did go off. Her dad has full. He set the full system up. He has everything.
The alarm went
The
off,
alarm
huh?
went off, and I have no doubt in my mind he's going to be driving down from New Hampshire to show up here.
Oh, that's what
Okay.
it's called.
Whereabouts from New Hampshire would he be coming from?
He's up in the not the Rochester. I forget
You know
exactly
what's
what town he's in.
funny?
He's probably about 40 minutes away.
This
30 minutes away.
guy is
I don't know if
literally, he's terrified of her father, huh? So
Yeah,
I did
sounds like it.
I heard something like, I mean, I heard that, you know, Kelsey's father, I've seen him. I know what he looks like, has like, you know, mob scary label. I don't know what he does, but I also like people have said that about my dad, and there's nothing could possibly be farther from the truth. So I don't know, right? I mean,
Yeah, like how accurate is that? Yeah, yeah,
our
absolutely.
father too, because he comes
Right.
across like when I was out in Montana and the person at the desk thought he was like a hitman. It's just so
Right.
ridiculous because he doesn't.
I mean, he is connected though. He has
That's-
connections. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. I wasn't thinking, but he's not gonna, like, you know, I mean, Justin Elaine sounds like he thinks that her
Absolutely
father-
not. No, he wouldn't hurt a fly himself. No, I don't.
No, right.
That's me.
But he sounds so scared. He's like, oh, her father, you know, I mean, that's
Yeah.
every time this so far, that's what he's talked about is her father.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like Corey Richens being scared of Eric's dad.
I don't
coming.
know.
I can't
I don't think
face it.
so. I don't think this is not that. sounds like a little baby boy afraid that big
It
scary
does.
dad's gonna come with a baseball bat and beat my head in. That's what this sounds like.
This guy needs to get a life. Why is he even bothering this girl so much? Get a life, dude. Like, do something else with your life.
Because his stuff,
You
he
know,
thinks his stuff is inside, I guess. I don't know.
So what?
They
So
were
ask
gonna
her.
get married.
So say I just need my stuff, and I'm sure she'd give it to you.
Right. Well, she was in the hospital
break up with
and
her.
they stole her baby. So I'm pretty sure it makes sense why he's afraid to go into the house. But, you man
Oh,
up.
that's where we're at now? Okay. That
Yeah.
makes more sense.
But you man
I
up.
am
You
looking
call
forward
the
to this trial,
father,
man. It's going to
you
be a
say-
good one.
You say to the father, sir, I know I'm at odds with your daughter, but I need to get my belongings. Can we meet at the house so that I can get my things? Right. I mean, because the truth is, I don't know if he actually is going in to get his things. It sounds like he may not have been. It sounds like he may have had some other intent. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I feel like this dude ain't coming anywhere near me if I were her.
Well,
Or my
she wasn't
house.
around. She's in a hospital.
Oh,
It's her house. She's in the hospital.
I get
The
it.
father installed all these cameras, I think. I mean, we saw the cameras. But he's saying the alarm went off. He knows there's cameras all over. So he's rightfully afraid that dad has become aware that he is in the house.
Coming, but I
Yeah.
have no doubt in my mind that man is going to come down with a vengeance.
Okay. I mean, do you think that
I called. I called 2 times. My family should have never been in this position. I called 2 times, once yesterday, once today.
Oh my God.
And I'm asking for a detail down here for 2 hours. If that's something that you guys
This guy's
cannot
definitely
do,
on drugs,
I will
dude.
gladly escalate the situation.
He's like a
This is
whiny
ridiculous.
baby.
what do you mean by
This is
escalate the
ridiculous.
situation?
I
This
will go
guy
to the media.
sucks.
I will do whatever
This
I
is
have
rough.
to do.
I will go to the
serve
media.
my
This
family's
guy's a
safety, my
dude.
brother's safety.
Wait. Let's hear this.
I can't.
What do you mean by escalate the situation?
I will go to the media. I will do whatever I have to do to ensure
Say
my
what?
family's safety, my brother's safety here, and 2 firefighters that are here. If his family
From
comes
this little
down,
blonde girl?
they're absolutely going to be doing something.
Okay.
And if you're saying there's no resources for this, it's insane.
If
It's a
you need a
2-hour
detail, I
detail.
can put a detail out.
I will not be paying for a detail given the circumstances of this. You can bring this to the chief. Please bring it to someone because I am not paying a cent for this.
Oh,
This
he's
is
a
ridiculous.
This guy is so. I
Given the
can't even listen to
circumstances
this
and escalation
anymore.
of this situation, you not providing a detail and having it be your guys'
The
idea.
media. I'm going to the media.
can
What
provide
are
a
you gonna
detail,
say?
It's almost over. Hold on.
Sorry.
but you're going to be charged for it.
Wait.
His idea is unbelievable.
We can provide a detail, but you're going to be charged for it.
I will not charge for it. You know what? I am glad this is the 3rd time this is happening because when something does happen at this location, it is going to be all on that department.
Oh my God.
This is unbelievable.
Justin, when he gets there, just call us and we'll send an
What's
officer
the
over
big
there to
deal?
keep the peace.
That's not how it's going to go down, but thank you for your time.
So when something does happen at this location, well, it's interesting. Something already did happen at this location.
Right.
That's
why I'm confused because they're not talking like that.
Was shot. So what he's saying is what he's really afraid of is Kelsey's dad coming with a gun and like shooting him. That's what he's afraid of. Like this guy is he's everything you don't want to be.
I can't deal with this. Yeah, he's like I can't. This poor woman that had a baby with this dude. Like that's the worst right there. That's the worst.
Well,
This
I
guy's
think-
awful.
I don't
He's
know
living
that
in
she
cuckoo
knew.
land too.
I don't think she knew that.
Well, she knows it
So,
now.
Very interesting. Let me answer some of your questions and then we'll take a break. We'll do a little fervent break. Because I have to run to the restroom. And Sissy, I don't know if you have to go. I know you were doing stuff before I jumped on. Okay.
Yeah.
So
It'll be a good
let's,
time for me to go.
if you want to go, sis, I can take the calls and then we'll go to our little break. Do you want to do that? That's absolutely fine.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's just late and I got a lot going on, but I definitely love coming on. I want to say hi to everybody.
All right. Well, we love having you.
I'm looking forward to this case trial Monday.
Yes,
for sure.
Monday. Yay.
But
Monday.
I'll still be listening and stuff. I got a few more things to do.
Excellent. All right. We'll be here.
I'll be on.
Bye, sis.
Okay.
Mhm. All right, let me take some of these because I saw some of these questions. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. And there were some good ones in here, and you guys are asking the right questions. Let me see if I can. Let me move her there. She doesn't have to stay. I don't want her to have to be there. Okay, sorry. I'm making sure my sister can go about her life. All right. Let me answer some of these, and then we will take a little break. So I wanted to acknowledge some of these. I saw these earlier on. Larissa Harris says, I took a Seroquel once, was going through a lot when my mom was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's, watched her deteriorate for a decade. Doctor thought I should try Seroquel. I ran to puke instantly. I'm so glad you said that, because this has been my point. This is why I've been losing my freaking mind listening to the closing argument. Like the defense attorney, Ms. Lewis, legitimately is arguing. I mean, this is a real thing that she's arguing, and it's flipping me out because I understand what she's saying. Her argument, this was closing argument. She argued that Eric took street-grade fentanyl, okay, at potentially 5 times what would have been a lethal dose in a pill. Then he went after that and took a Seroquel, right? Then he went and did a couple of shots, or a shot with the Moscow Mule. Do you know how effing sick that he would be? Like, there's no way that happened. It makes me nuts. Like, people don't understand. Like, I get it. And good that you don't know what these things are and you don't ever have to take them. And that's wonderful. And hopefully you never, ever have any fentanyl relationship in your life, personally or in any other way, right? Hopefully it doesn't touch your life. But my God, know what you're saying, woman. You're the freaking defense attorney. Do you know what fentanyl is? Not, it's not hydrocodone. It's not... It's not Tylenol with codeine, right? It's effing fentanyl, street grade fentanyl. It makes my head explode. Oh my God. And then, like you're saying, then you add some quetiapine, which by itself can put down a horse, right? Now, if you're adjusted to it, that's not the case. You get used to it. Fine. And if you need it, you need it. You get used to it. But he wasn't prescribed it. It freaks me out. It just freaks me. I lose my freaking mind. I lose my mind. Yeah, man, right? Kelsey is so young, JB Z18. Kelsey's so young to have gone through this. I know. Man, she seems like she's a freaking cop. I can't. My brain, I don't want to jump to like the sexism. I try not to. I'm trying not to run to that. But it seems like, look at like everything they did to protect Michael Proctor up and until we got that last batch where he literally is sending sexual harassment victim body parts to other cops. That was the moment when the union backed away, right? That's what it took. And still to this day, the person who's is trying to take over for Michael Morrissey is like campaigning with Michael Proctor as his like poster child. It's an absolute, what a disaster. But not Kelsey. Nope. It's okay to break into her house, shoot her at close up, take her baby from her, allow her absolute disgrace of a baby's father, break into her house with a police detail to do it, police permission. Oh my God. And then just the way she's been treated. I hope she gets hers in the end. I really do. I really do. So this is such a good question at user SO3 month 7 leaf 4H. I don't know what that means. I'm so bad at reading these correctly. Sam, you said if someone is a heavy drug addict, it can look like narcissism. What is Justin? It's an excellent question. You're so right on this question. Yeah, so there's 2 parts of me, right? There's the part of me that just doesn't like him because he's not likable. He's a very unlikable character in this story. He's so unlikable that my brain just wants to go, narcissist, right? Like, I want to scream that. I really do. But if I, like, let's say, he was in front of me. I didn't know who he was. He came into an outpatient treatment program. I'm doing the assessment. I would be at the head of that treatment team arguing my face off that we cannot argue that this is narcissism, because clearly he has a serious substance use disorder. So the truth is, you can't. I want to say it's narcissism, but you couldn't. I mean, there are some clues, but like I said, it looks the same. It really does. I mean, I was just about to start arguing for narcissism, but there's no argument. They're the same. The entitlement, like the way that he just thinks that for whatever reason, God only knows, he deserves a police detail of his own that he shouldn't have to pay for, because I'm not really sure why, because he's scared is really the reason. So because he's afraid, he thinks he's entitled to that. Right? Even though he's the guy that set the whole thing in motion to begin with. But that could absolutely be substance use disorder. So, I'd need more information also. Like, we would need a lot more information, but clearly this guy has a very serious substance use disorder. He also has some interesting family dynamics, like extraordinarily unlikable person in every way. Even his voice is horrendous. He's so self-serving, and the dynamic, right? It's not, there's something very, Mom seems like a very unhealthy person in this story, based on what I heard of her and her manipulative efforts with police, trying to get what she wants from them also. It seems like he's learned from her. That's what I would argue, that he's taking his training from her. But the honest to God, 100% without blinking answer is you can't say. You can't say. And here's the thing. It takes a lot to be able to definitively make this argument. It really does. Like, in other words, I would say there's only one time in my life so far where I even question whether the client I was working with, who also had a substance use disorder, truly is sociopathic. And it's a fine line. Like, it's such a fine line. It's so rare. Sociopathy is a very, very, very rare thing. Not narcissism, but sociopathy. And narcissism, I would say, is the precursor for sociopathy, but it's so rare. It would take us having to ride the wave of Justin into some recovery process to really ever know the difference. And the odds don't look very good of that being the case. So he may just functionally present as both forever, right? In other words, if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck and it walks like a duck, but it also smokes weed, then, functionally it's both. But technically, we wouldn't be able to say discernibly until he was in a recovery process. Hopefully that made sense. I know it doesn't sound like it, but Mama for Denise said, oddly, he isn't saying he's worried about her harming the baby. You're 100% right. Absolutely. Nope. He said it on that form, I think, right? He wrote it on the form, or at least it's covered by one of the stickers, but I think it's on that form. But he knows there's nothing to worry about. He knows she's not going to harm the baby. That's the whole point, right? So it's like, that's why I think what he was really trying to do was end the relationship. Like, I don't really think he had an interest in being a single dad. I'm sure, I think look, hopefully this trial ends really quickly and she's exonerated from any wrongdoing. And then she can just go be a mom. But this is a bad guy. I mean, he is just bad news, right? Bad news. You know what makes it bad news? His intent is different from what's really going on. I mean, I think that's the thing that makes Justin dangerous right now, is that he's not telling you the truth. He's not telling you why he's doing what he's doing. He's trying to paint like he's afraid of her. And obviously that's not true. I mean, she's not scary. She loved him. I mean, she really seemed to want to be with him, right? So it's like, wait, what are you worried about? You're worried about her beating you up? Like, no, you're not. Yeah, it's really sad. Really sad. Robin Rose says, Justin needed to fill out the paternity paperwork. By the way, Justin's balls haven't dropped yet. He sounds like he's in 6th grade. I loved that. I had to say it. I know. And I don't think he's not young, right? He's got to be like 30 years old. No? I mean, at least. That's my guess. I would think. Blessed Mama sends $4.99. Samantha, can Kelsey play these audios at her bench trial? Please say yes. I don't see why not. I mean, the thing about the bench trial that I think is awesome is that it's a bench trial. So he, normally the role of the judge is to be the sifter of what the jury can see and what they can. You make all these motions. The lawyers are always trying to get information in front of the jury. And so much of a jury trial so much time is spent on that. This is going to just circumvent that, because he has all the information and everybody trusts that the judge can know stuff, but still make sound judgments with that information. That's why I think they wanted a bench trial, because they want him to know all the details, to hear all the evidence, to see Justin Elaine smoking weed 270 times in 3 months while also saying that she's the danger to the baby, right? Like, the more information I think you have in this case, the better it is for her. The smarter you are, the better it is for her. So I think he's going to be fair. I don't know that they wanted to say that explicitly in their press conference. They do say that, but I don't think they want to make a really big deal about thinking that the judge is going to be super fair, because he is sympathetic to her. I mean, there's no question. I mean, he cut that prosecutor off during last week's motion in mid-sentence and said, well, no. The whole point is that from Kelsey FitzSimmons' perspective, there has been a wrong done. Because he's saying, what's the harm in, if it's not broke, why fix it, Judge? Why don't we just let her stay at her parents another week? It's only another week. And the judge literally cuts him off mid-sentence and says, well, no. That's the problem. It is broken from her perspective. That's why he ultimately rules to let her go home. He knows she wants to be with her baby. And it's not fair. And he knows that if they keep prolonging her going home, that in the family court, if she doesn't have a home ready for the baby, it might be another 8 months before she gets the baby back. And he knows that. So he's very sympathetic to her. And also, my God, to the baby. This child needs its mom. He's got a loving mother who's competent and smart and capable and employable. What isn't he with his mother for? Instead, he's with Justin's. Very obviously, ickily, his mother is icky unhealthy. Something is so wrong with a woman, in this situation, who wants another woman's baby. That is, right? That makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up. It's ooh, that's not good. We don't want that woman raising this little boy. He's going to end up being just like Justin, totally incapable and incompetent and functioning in the world like a real adult. At Lindsay Penberthy since 1397. No, Lindsay, I swear to God, I can talk. At Lindsay Penberthy, 1397 cents, $2. Will she go back to being a police officer? It's a great question. Would you want to go back to being a police officer? I mean, I think I can't imagine. Not at that police department, right? I don't know. I mean, it seemed from what I don't know a lot about her, but it seems like from what I have heard that she took pride in being a police officer, that it was a source of pride for her. And I think it could be in the right police department and in the right state, but I don't know. I mean, these people betrayed her. I don't know how you could ever trust your coworkers again. I mean, the way she's been treated by everybody is so unimaginable. They shot her. I couldn't, this case does not make sense. Like on paper, when you're trying to make sense of what is happening, you know, we're all missing some very big part of the story because it's just not logical. Like, why is Kathleen Neiman, this evil, horrible hag judge, why is she treating this police officer who just got shot the way that she is? Like she's a demon who tried to murder her baby. That's the way that the Kathleen McCarthy Neiman was treating Kelsey. It just, something was just so wrong about this. And that's the way they've all been treating her from the start. Yet earlier on the same day that she's shot, she's taking the baby to the same office with the same people. And they're like, oh, look at the cute baby. The whole time knowing, some of them, that Justin's going to serve her later on that night. And they're going to come and take that baby out of her hands. So I hope to God she doesn't go back to the police, you know. Hopefully she becomes like a lawyer or something, because this is a traumatizing doesn't even cover what this kind of situation would be. Could you fucking imagine going through this? I can't even imagine. I swear to God, I probably would have tried to shoot this guy. I mean, if I'm thinking back to when my daughter was, 4 months old, if a police officer came into my house and tried to steal the baby out of my hands, I don't even know what I would have done. I really don't. I don't know what I would have done. I would have just, my brain would have skitzed out, like black out, just horrifying. I'm glad that in a way she was sort of lucky to be in the situation she was in, because at least she was unconscious in surgery immediately following them taking the baby away. I mean, it's what a horrible situation. Let's just hope she gets the baby back by like Wednesday. I know it won't be that quick, because even if she's exonerated, she's still has to go through family court, but hopefully she'll have that baby back in no time. And this will all be something behind us, because she's perfectly capable. I mean, think about, listen, there are so many people, even just in the state of Massachusetts, mothers that I've known who did not offer this kind of safe home environment that Kelsey does. Like, what entitled the state or anyone to see her as such a threat to that baby? Like, do you know how hard it is to get the state to take the baby away from the mother? I don't know. That's not easy. It's not like you can just do that. So why did that happen here? I guess that's the question. This was a perfectly competent woman, because she had postpartum. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. The whole thing is very, very screwed up. This is why I say my brain skitzes out when I think about this case, because I don't understand what's going on. And I know we're missing something. I know we are. At Crazy World 2 sends $4.99. Thank you for sharing so much knowledge, Samantha. Thank you, Denise. Well, thank you, Crazy World 2. And Denise is the greatest ever. So I think you're talking about Denise, the moderator, my Denise. She's the best ever. Thank you so much. And thanks to everybody. We are going to take a break. We'll do a fervent break. I debated whether to start the Kevin Albert. Maybe I'll just start it and we'll do a little teaser, because we're definitely not going to finish it. But I've been wanting to check this out myself. So I think I'm going to take a little break. We'll start the Kevin Albert video from Fervent, one of the newest videos. And we'll get a little sneak preview. And then you guys can go, if you haven't seen it, and go and watch it later. So let me grab that for us. In order to do that, I got to stop this and add. Here it is. Awesome. Beautiful. Okay. We will add this, and I will see you guys back here in, let's say, 3 minutes approximately. 3 minutes approximately. Let me make this bigger for us. Okay.
I'm the oldest of 7, yes.
Out.
And as far as your brothers and sisters are
You and
concerned,
three.
what are their names, and if you could rank them sort of by age?
Sure. The next sibling after me is my sister Kathleen. Then I have a brother Chris, a brother Kevin, a brother Keith, a brother Brendan, and a brother Timmy.
And included within those people, you mentioned you have a brother Kevin, is that correct?
Yes,
Is he a police officer as well?
he is.
And where is he?
He's a detective in Canton, Massachusetts.
And was he down at this funeral as well?
He was.
And do you know a gentleman by the name of Brian Higgins?
Yes.
And was Brian Higgins at this funeral service as well?
Yes, he was.
And so it's yourself, Mr. Higgins, and then who, if anyone else, went with you on the drive back to Massachusetts?
Eddie Hernandez and my brother Kevin.
And when you arrived back in Massachusetts, where was it sort of specifically that you went first?
I initially went to the Charlestown to pick up my vehicle.
Where was your vehicle parked in Charleston?
It was at a police station, Charlestown Station. It's a satellite station located in Charlestown.
And that was in reference to proximity to the airport, is that correct?
Yes.
So that would have been Logan that you flew out of and intended to fly back into?
Logan Airport, yes.
And after you were dropped off with your vehicle, what kind of vehicle was that?
That was a Ford Edge.
Was that personal vehicle or work vehicle?
Work vehicle.
And so you get dropped back off at your work vehicle. Where did you go from?
So from Charlestown, I drove back towards the Canton area, and I met Brian Higgins at a restaurant bar called the Hillside.
Is that in Canton as well?
I believe so. It's on the Canton-Milton line. I believe it sits in Canton.
And what was the purpose of you and Mr. Higgins going?
After the drive home, he asked if I wanted to get some food and stop off, and I said yes.
And you went to the funeral on the 28th, is that correct?
Yes.
And at some point, do you make your way from New York City back towards Massachusetts on the 28th?
Yes.
And do you recall about what time of day that was?
Late morning, possibly. I drove my government vehicle down to New York for the services.
And what kind of government vehicle was it that you drove down and back?
That was a Dodge Ram pickup.
Now, on the way back, who, if anyone, came with you for the ride back from New York City to Massachusetts?
Brian Albert, Kevin Albert, and Eddie Hernandez.
And who are they to you, and what, if any, relationship do they have to your work in law enforcement?
Well, first and foremost, they're all friends. Kevin Albert is a detective with the Canton Police Department. Brian Albert was a sergeant detective with the Boston Police Department. Eddie Hernandez, also a detective with the Boston Police Department.
And how long had you known each of these individuals?
So out of the group, Eddie Hernandez would be the person that I knew the longest. I had worked with him back in the early 90s at the Mass General. Then it would probably be Brian Albert. I may have had some contact with him when I was on the Cambridge Fire Department, assigned to the Fire Investigation Unit. And then Kevin Albert would be probably the last in the three that I knew.
Now, speaking to the Canton Police Department at that time, as far as your assignment went with work, where was it that you worked out of, or where was sort of your base of operations? So to say?
Canton PD, I had an office there.
And when you arrived back to Massachusetts, where specifically in Massachusetts is it that you first go?
So the first place that we went was a Boston Police Department district in Charlestown, where Brian Albert and Eddie Hernandez had parked their vehicles.
Now, as far as you know, had they driven down to New York City, or how would they come to be in New York City, if you know?
I believe that Brian Albert, Eddie Hernandez, and Kevin Albert all flew down to New York.
And they drove back with you because of the storm. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Why do we even
Now,
know
after
Why are we even
dropping them
talking
off there,
about
where
this?
did you go from there?
Anybody know?
I went back to the Canton Police Department where I dropped off
I should say.
Kevin Albert, and then switched.
I don't mean right now. Obviously, it's important to understand who Kevin Albert is. What I'm asking is, why was Adam Lally even giving us this information? Why did we know anything about them going to the services in New York? I mean, I don't know if he thought this was character building. I don't know. I don't know why. I'm not really sure what the relevance is. Just that they have relationships. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm overlooking something very obvious here, but I'm always interested whenever I see Brian Higgins testifying, because I've realized, not that I didn't know this before, but there is so much information in every sentence that he utters, everything he says, even what we're hearing now, the way he frames it, the language that he uses, everything he says, there's like an underlying meaning. So as I'm watching him, I'm always like reading two things, the surface and then also like the underlying meaning. And there's so much with him. And then there's also his emotional reaction. So he's like a fascinating witness. This testimony would probably take weeks to really analyze correctly, because he was on the stand for a long time. There is so much in every sentence. Brian Albert too. But Brian Higgins is such an interesting and important figure in this story. Not that Brian Albert isn't, but Brian Higgins is so directly involved. I mean, I think universally, assuming that you believe that Karen Reed is not the person responsible for the death of John O'Keefe, which is obvious, he is the one universal is Brian Higgins. We all agree universally he has some involvement, simply arguably because of the way he behaves on the stand. There's just such a sense of guilt. And then I guess you could argue Chloe comes in second. And because Brian Albert is the homeowner, he rounds out the third spot. But in terms of who was directly involved, I think we would all point the finger in his direction. So he's incredibly important in the story. So I could just sit here and do this, but I want to continue our efforts. So we stay on task. We will come back to this, I promise, and definitely check out Fervent, because obviously he's the best and doing some amazing stuff. Definitely need to check this out later, because Kevin Albert is so important and there's not a lot of information about him. I have tried to do videos on him, but I've gotten kind of stymied because, I'm like a half hour into research and there's just not a huge trail. And so I kind of get discouraged and gave up. So I'm super glad to see somebody's doing it. Okay, so let's go back to, let me remove this. And let's go back to, hang on, the text messages that I want to take a look at between Kelsey and Justin. And the best way to do it, I think the best way to do it, because there was a lot of different formats, but this one was the clearest to read. It was very hard to read some of the ones that I found. They were just listed on, let me bring it up on the stage for you guys. They were listed on Boston 10's website inside an article. And so this is just the easiest and cleanest to try to read. So we will just go through the text messages here. Okay. And these apparently, as I mentioned earlier, will be allowed in. And I can't wait to see the bench trial. I don't think I've ever, soup to nuts the whole way through seen a bench trial. So I am excited to just process wise, see how different the flow is, how different it really is without a jury. And I can imagine it is going to go exponentially more quickly as a result. Okay, here we go. So Kelsey says, you just woke me up to let me know I have to bring our son to work with me. Okay. Justin, you were not listening then. I will happily pick our son up and watch him at work. I said I didn't want to be in the house at this time, meaning their house. You have to respect that. You are choosing to not have me watch him and bring him to work. Okay. You see how he's gaslighting there? Like, no, I'm not choosing not to be at the house. You're choosing not to have me watch him. It's very clever. You're not a babysitter. You're his dad. This is our home where the three of us live. I don't know if you guys can see this. Hopefully you can see it somewhat. And by being his dad, I will watch him and pick him up if you wish. You're not a babysitter, Justin. You don't, quote, watch him. You can simply just come home and be home with him. The home where our family lives. Then Justin says, right now, Kels, those are the options. I will and can pick him up to be with him while you are at work. But you are choosing to bring him to work. You have to respect that I need space and time and will not be entering the house alone. Okay. Your, quote, space is abandoning your family. I don't understand why you can't come in our house and you won't explain it. I will not be single parenting for days and days on end. Justin, when you strike me in the face several times and physically assault your best friend, Kels, you set the tone. I'm reacting in the best way possible to find a way forward. And this is what I need. It is not about what you need anymore. We need to be the best parents possible. And I cannot, he uncontracts, do that in the house at this time. Let me just look at this. When you strike me in the face several times and physically assault your best friend, Kels. So you see already there's this juxtaposition of him using this pet name for her while also talking about how she strikes him and physically assaults her best friend, which, by the way, really has nothing to do with him. So I'm not sure why he's referencing the fact that she strikes her best friend, but okay. So, what strikes me about the way this is written is that he's trying to make it sound like he's the guy on the higher moral ground here, but there's a lot of tells in this statement that give it away that he's not. By the way he frames this, you can see that while he wants to say, I'm on the higher moral ground, he's bringing in he's dropping this language that's making it clear that something else is afoot. I'm reacting in the best way. I'm reacting like I'm doing the best job possible because I'm the responsible parent, is what he's saying. Because it's not about what you need anymore. We need to be the best parents possible. And I cannot do that in the house at this time. The house. Kelsey, just not even true, but okay. So I think what she's saying is not true is that she assaulted her best friend. So she says, just not even true, but okay. Abandon your son, thumbs up emoji. I forgot. Everything that comes out of a woman's mouth, meaning her friend, is the truth, right? Good luck to you. Okay. And then Justin says, and blank and blank and blank are all lying. Now, again, I don't see how this is relevant. I don't see how Kelsey getting into fights with friends at her bachelorette party, I'm not sure I understand why that would mean that Justin can't go home to the house, even if it was just for the sake of their child, right? This is just not legitimate. Something else is going on. There's something else that's motivating this that he's not being honest about, obviously, I guess. Right, because she struck him 3 times in the face. Now he's scared of her. I mean, it's really silly. Kelsey, you're missing valuable days with your son you will never get back by your own choosing. You're making me very a single mother by your own choosing. I'm rescheduling our son's surgery right now. I will not be doing this alone. Answer the phone. So you can see she's trying to talk to him and he won't pick up the phone. Sad that you let your feelings towards me affect your son. Poor kid. The purest innocent soul gets affected because you won't help me fast him. I'm not sure what that's supposed to say. Would you like to tour his daycare with me? Justin, no, my son has offered free daycare. We do not have $500 a week for daycare. Kelsey, he's going to daycare. Don't worry about the money. It's taken care of. Justin, who's paying for it? Kelsey, doesn't matter. Do you want to tour it with me or not? Well, it does matter. It doesn't. If you want to come, great. If you don't, great. Justin, you want to place a 4-month-old into daycare? I am, yes. Do you want me to pack your stuff and move it out? I'm going to have to sell my house and find an apartment. Justin, I need my debit card and license you took right now. That's it. Kelsey, don't have it. Why would I have that? I'll leave all your stuff outside. I have to put my house on the market. Please don't touch my belongings. Kelsey, I can't risk being in a situation I can't afford because you have told people you are leaving but haven't told me. Justin, who on earth have I told that to? You keep making things up. This is Justin saying that. Kelsey says, not me, that's for sure. Oh, really? I made that up. Okay. If you're leaving me, you need to tell me so I can figure out my life, not tell others, tell me. Justin, I need space and time right now. I don't have a plan. I just know I need space and time. Let me just look at that. I need space and time right now. I don't have a plan. I just know I need space and time. So he does have a plan. Okay. Kelsey, okay, that tells me nothing. After your space and time, are you leaving? Because I need to come up with a plan. You're not going to leave me in the dark. Oh my God. This is so bad. Hold on, I'm trying to find my place. So hard for me to see unless I'm on the bigger screen. Okay, hold on. Okay, that tells me nothing. After your space and time, are you leaving? Because I need to come up with a plan. You're not going to leave me in the dark on my own life. Okay, that's fine, Justin. Don't answer me. I'll put your stuff outside in boxes, of course, get an attorney and sell this house. I'm not going to be set up. This is my life. Am I paying our venue the $6,000 or should I hold off? Oh, I'm assuming that's the wedding venue. I have $6,000 waiting to send them. It's due July 4th. If I send it, we cannot get a refund. We can't get a refund on anything. Would you like me to send it or hold off? Justin, only $1,500 was left to pay, and I sent you that already. Kelsey, so what am I doing? I think we are under contract to pay it regardless. Can you send me the contract? Kelsey, no, I don't have it. Regardless, if I talk to somebody's name, I'm sure he will let me keep the money. Do you want me to send it or not? Not yet. I don't know. Kelsey laughing and crying emoji. Tells me everything I need to know. Thank you. I'll send it to my parents, not for their troubles, and call so-and-so today. Kelsey, that's not what I'm saying. I don't have any answers today. Kelsey, just hold me for it's not due till the 4th. Just hold on to the money, I think. Kelsey, I'll meet you at the Common at 2 p.m. For what? What do you mean for what? On the phone, you said we can meet up in public or go for a walk. I'll see you at the Common at 2 with our son. ? Justin, Kels, I have no debit card, no license. My gas tank is empty and couldn't get money this morning to drive to get our son. But so-and-so and so-and-so are both gone. Can we meet tomorrow instead, unless so-and-so comes home and I can get some money for gas? Kelsey, you don't have enough gas to get here? I haven't gone through any of my bags yet besides my purse, and many of my blank was stolen as well. I will look in the other bags. I don't even bother touching it because some substance was poured all over it and it smells really bad. I will look once I get the courage to go into the basement. So it sounds like whatever the bachelorette party was a freaking total disaster. That's what it sounds like. Justin, the less than 50 miles light was on before I grabbed my truck last night. Theirs could be 5 miles or 20, but I have nothing and no way to get there. And blank is at work and blank is out with doctor stuff all day, she said this morning. I'm assuming those are like his siblings. Kelsey, okay, I'll give you the money in the drawer. I'm going to work now. I'll see you at the Common at 2 with our son. Justin, I don't have gas to get there, Kels. You took my debit card and ID, and I did God knows what with it. You took my debit card and ID and did God knows what with it. Kelsey, Justin, I was chaotically packing bags. I didn't mean to take anything, but you still did. My bag has stuff stolen out of it, and my other bag had something poured all over it, causing every piece of my clothing to be soaked. I will look through that one right now. Then I'm going to work. Why'd you tell me to come over at 10 then for the kiddo if you were going to work now? No. He says, why'd you tell me to come over at 10 then for this kiddo? For this kiddo. That's his son. This kiddo. If you were going to work now. This kiddo. That sounds like the way I would reference, I don't know, a kid I'm babysitting. Not my son. Kelsey, because I wanted to sleep. I didn't sleep last night. Why does it matter? I decided to change it till 12:30. In the very bottom of my soaked bag is your toiletries, boxers, and cards. Sorry, I got my bag at 10 p.m. last night and just bawled because my clothes are ruined. My stuff was stolen. I didn't even go through it all the way. I don't know what you're talking about. Can I see you tomorrow instead? You literally work tomorrow. I will see you at 2. Justin, shoot, I forgot work. Kelsey, ? I have no way of getting to town. Yes, you do. Hello, Justin. Am I seeing you at 2 or not? WTF. Kelsey, I have no gas. I physically cannot go anywhere. I'm looking for change around the house and there is none. This guy, he's too much. How do you even have enough gas not to be home right now then? How do you even have enough gas not to be home right now then? I can't go into work. I'm done. Answer the phone. So you're out? That's why you won't come see me? I'm done. I'm driving up to the land. I'm going to my land. Where are you, Justin? Justin, what is going on? I'm worried. I'm really worried. Justin, are you okay? Why are you at so-and-so's with your sister? What is going on? I thought I was meeting you at the Common. All caps. What is going on? What is going on? I'm literally shaking. Why are you with girls at so-and-so's house? So she's driving by, I guess, and she sees that he is with, I guess, her friends or his siblings, that they're up to something. So she knows something is up. We were supposed to go for a walk with our son. What the blank is happening? I'm throwing up. Why are you with so-and-so? I don't know who that is. What is going on? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me, Justin? What are you doing this to me? What are you actually doing to me? Why are you with somebody? We don't know their name. I just need you to communicate with me. This is not fair. You made a plan with me. Making plans with me and your son and ghosting me is just so mean. I'm going far, far away for a long, long time. So these are the threats that she's making to go up to New Hampshire. You could have at least told me you changed your mind instead of standing me up and making me wait at the Common for 2 hours. Just really mean. Also crazy for you to just read all my texts, know how upset this made me. You don't love or care about me. This is so mean. Why wouldn't you just tell me you changed your mind instead of stand me up? If you drove there with some woman, you clearly had no intention of going for a walk with me or your son. Why would you make plans with us? I packed his diaper bag and stroller and blanket for us to sit on just to be stood up. Why be mean about it? Why not just say, sorry, not happening anymore, change my mind? Like, you called me saying you were on your way to North Andover. Your mom gave you money and you would see me at 2. WTF happened since that phone call? If you're trying to hurt me, you're succeeding. I feel really effing hurt. I just want to know why you made plans with me and our son and stood us up. Why couldn't you just have said, never mind to me? Not have me wait and wait and wait at the Common for you, ignoring the mother of your child and fiance. I don't get it. I really don't. You made it very clear. I'm not your family. I will pack your belongings and put it outside for you to retrieve. I'll let you know when it's all outside. Need to get some people to help me move it all. You didn't have to lie to me and say you were meeting me. You didn't have to lead me on to think that we were going for a walk. I don't know what that did for you. Why didn't you just tell me? Why did you have me sitting at the park alone with our son waiting? You knew the only way from the station to the park is to drive by Hunter's. If you did this to hurt me, it worked. I told our son we were going to see Daddy. Oh, that's so sad. You're just hurting me. And for you to still give me nothing and say nothing. You set up this huge plan to make me think my son and I were going to meet you for a walk. And then you ghosted me. I hope you know that hurts a lot more than just me. You ditched seeing your son. Like, why? Why couldn't you have just said to me, you never had any intentions of seeing us? I sat and waited at the park until his bottle ran out and had nothing more to give him. Why couldn't you just have called me and said you changed your mind? Why do it like this? And you're not going to say your phone is in the truck because when you click on your message, it shows you read it? She says, and you're not going to say your phone's in the truck because I know you read the messages. You're mean. You wanted a reaction from me. You won't get one. I'm on my way up to the land for the night. I love you. I'm sorry. I'm so blank of a person that you couldn't even see your son smile today. We're going to our happy place. I'll send pictures when I get service. Ay, ay, ay. So there's that. Those are pretty horrific. And we really get the sense from these messages that, again, I mean, it's the same exact feeling. He's setting her up. And I think he's just, honestly, he seems like a coward. He seems like a childish coward who doesn't want to tell Kelsey that he doesn't want to get married. He doesn't want to move in with her. He wants to go home to his mommy and be coddled so he can smoke weed 270 times over the next 2 months and not have to be a grown-ass man. I mean, that's what it seems like. But she had such a different idea in her mind that she's panicked. And of course she is. If you thought you were getting married in however long, a couple of months, just had a baby with a guy, you think you guys are moving into a home together, you have a 4-month-old, you think you're getting married in however long, another couple months, and then all of a sudden, after the bachelorette party, he just turns like this and he tries to make it your fault because you hit him. Right? And it's clear that this isn't really about that. It's not really that he was afraid for his life. He needs a restraining order against her. She's saying, I love you. I want to be with you. I thought we were getting married. What's going on? So it seems like he's just a coward, but because of the way he handled this, and maybe because he's afraid of her dad. I mean, that sounds so silly, but it almost seems like he was so afraid of her dad that he like involved the police preemptively. And that's ultimately what led to her being shot. I don't know. That's almost what it seems like. Now, I don't have all the information, so I can't say that definitively, but from a preliminary level, that's kind of what it seems like. It's just so bizarre. This guy is so weird. Right? I mean, this guy is so weird. I don't know. I don't know what to make of this, but I can't wait for Monday, and hopefully it all comes out in the wash. And over that first maybe 3 days, maybe a week, who knows how long the trial will actually go on for, but hopefully we'll get the full story. We'll have an understanding what the hell happened here. And very interesting to hear actually from the police officer that shot Kelsey. Now, Noonan is obviously going to have to consider saving his own ass. So you can imagine that whatever story he's going to tell is going to be with his own self-interest in mind. And it's going to probably be very discrepant from her story. So this is just going to be one hell of a trip. But these messages, it just doesn't look great for Justin. And hopefully she's exonerated so she can quickly move on with her life and just, move on. This is like, I can't even imagine what a nightmare this must have been for this woman. And hopefully it'll be time to turn the page. So with all of that in mind, and I'm sure there's lots more to come, this is probably only scratching the very tip of the iceberg, very, very surface level stuff. We do get a pretty clear sense of who he is, though, right? We do get a clear sense that Justin Elaine is just like the worst of the worst. It's not so much that he's a narcissist. He's a coward. He's a child. He's an infant. He's a baby. He doesn't want any responsibility. He doesn't want a responsibility of a wife. He doesn't want a responsibility of being a real father, having a real home. He just wants to go live at mommy and daddy's and, beg them for gas money. I mean, this does not sound like somebody who's prepared for fatherhood. Let's just put it that way. So let's just hope this baby gets back to Kelsey as quickly as possible, because it's not good for this poor child right now. That's for sure. Not good. Not good. Justin Elaine is not a father, and his mother is who raised him. So you see how that's probably going. Yikes. All right. So the last thing that I want to do today, and then I have a couple of announcements that I cannot forget to make. I want to watch the Chris Albert letter that he reads at the Canton Select Board to send himself off, right? This is his, the message that he's reading this is his second to last meeting. So I guess next month is the end of the road for his time as a selectman. And this is a very short statement, but it is interesting. Wait till you hear it. If you haven't heard it, it's funny. It's worth listening to. So let me pull it up here. Somehow I exited out by accident. Here we go. All right, here we go.
Well, since this is my second to last meeting, my time is coming to an end as a member of the Canton Board of the Canton Select Board. When I set out and ran for the select board, I did so as a resident of Canton who was raised here, chose to raise my family in this great town, and as a business owner who supported the community, I wanted to give back, and it was my time. What I didn't realize when winning this seat and topping the ballot that night was the hurtful and negative attention that this would soon come my
Wait a minute. Wait. Let's go back and hear this language again. Let me hear this language again. What was his reasoning? He gives like 3 reasons.
And ran for the select board. I did so as a resident of Canton who was raised here, chose to raise my family in this great town, and as a business owner who supported the community, I wanted to give back.
So, that's really interesting. So he doesn't tell us what the motivation is. He says, I did so as a, lifelong resident. I forget the exact language, as a business owner. And then new sentence, I wanted to give back. Because I would argue this is absolutely not why he was motivated to all of a sudden run for local politics. Just so happened to be at this very time. I mean, anyway, let's listen.
And it was my time. What I didn't realize when winning this seat and topping the ballot that night was the hurtful and negative attention that this would soon come my way. Within 24 hours of winning, I watched as members of this community, a former select board member, current select board member, and other members of the community immediately got to work to their goal to take the select board back. These were their...
Wait a minute. Immediately got to work to take the select board back. So we need to look at the timeline of this. When did he run? When did this seat come up? When did he end up winning this election? Because the way he frames this is very interesting.
Words, not mine. This is fine, and I support them for that. I guess there was frustration that a community member who was a little bit of a conservative would win a seat in Canton. That irked many. Personally, I never look at Canton politics as having left or right. I always looked at it as having members to do work with in the...
Is this true? Was this a problem? Were people prejudiced against Chris Albert because he was more of a conservative? I mean, I've never heard that phrase uttered ever, but maybe it was. Maybe long before anyone sought justice for John O'Keefe, there were slanderous statements being made or waged against Chris Albert because he was, quote, more of a conservative. I'd love to know more about that. I very seriously doubt it, but maybe.
Best interest of Canton. Not to force an ideology down the throats of our community.
This feels like it's evasion and deflection. Like he's putting the feelings against him on some other thing. It's not really because my family murdered a police officer. It's because, and then framed an innocent woman. It's because I'm a conservative.
At the time, we were going to have some disagreements, and my goal was, as citizens of Canton, we would figure it out, just as those have led the town previously always did, work together as one. Just a few weeks after being elected, my world and my family's world would change forever, and many of the people that were upset at me for winning this election would then turn to welcome a divide to Canton that has never been seen before.
This is interesting. So now he's arguing that the people who were against him anyway because he was a conservative then turned against him because they think his family murdered John. That's what he's arguing here.
Members of this community who I've known for years turned their back, first because I won an election, second because they wanted to believe a made-up conspiracy that was funneled by an online blog.
Second, because they wanted to believe, listen to this, talk about deflection. Second, not because my family was involved. He's not even saying my family was inadvertently or I was inadvertently involved with a horrific, tragic loss of a police officer. Like he deflects the whole thing completely and goes with the Testify campaign slogans about the online blogger and witness intimidation and the conspiracy that Karen and Turtle Boy colluded, right? So this statement, this is what I was saying about the meeting that they had. Maybe it was a fundraiser, but my guess is that there was another intent, and that intent is to try to roll out some type of strategic marketing campaign, for lack of a better way to say it, where, they're going to make Turtle Boy look guilty, ultimately, right? Make Karen and Aiden look like they are colluding. This is all the same stuff. The phones, Karen's phone, the motion to dismiss being denied. Cosgrove all of a sudden somehow is involved with Karen's phone. The decision for her phone to be appealed. Like, I don't even, how did that even happen? Like, did he just leap over to another case? Right? That has nothing to do with Aiden's case. I mean, that's like a separate thing altogether, whether Karen gets her phone back. So this feels like it's coordinated and that it's deliberate, because he's not saying anything about the family's role, justly or not. What he's saying is, has everybody believed an online crazy conspiracy theory? It's pretty rich, isn't it? That he starts this conversation with how people don't like him because he's a conservative, and then switches over to, it's the conspiracy theorists that are against him now. I mean, this is rich. It's quite rich.
Enhanced by some members of this community. Some people who welcome the divide in town sat on this.
And the divide has nothing to do with the fact that his brother and his brother's friends and maybe his son murdered somebody and framed an innocent woman for it. It's because the conspiracy blogger and Karen colluded to get all the people in town to divide against each other, right? This is what's going on in Chris's mind, which is obviously not what Chris really believes, but what he has written down as part of this larger campaign to try to be on message. This is what I think the real purpose of their 400 secret meeting was. Coordinated marketing campaign to ultimately take down Aiden and try to put something on Karen.
Very bored. And while another who pushed the conspiracy is currently running for a seat on this board, it's truly a shame. This is not what Canton is. Canton has always been a community that has come together in such tough times and stood together through adversity.
This is not what Canton is. I mean, this guy, like the balls, right? Chris, your whole family, including your son, perjured themselves. That's not a question, okay? Like, go back, everybody, in case you forgot. Just spend 10 minutes on Colin Albert's testimony. Start with Adam Lally, because you have to see it all the way through, because you only have to have eyes and ears to register that from the go, that kid is as full of shit as they come. Full of shit. The only honest thing he does do is when Alan Jackson pushes him and pushes him and pushes him, eventually he agrees, yeah, I was threatening those Advantage boys. Yeah. Yep, I'm a douchebag, of course, right? That's the only honest thing that comes out of Colin Albert's mouth. Otherwise, it is just bullshit. Insane bullshit. Whether or not that means he murdered somebody, I don't know. But I know without a doubt that there is a crime being committed, because it's a crime to perjure yourself. This is a murder trial. That's his son, right? So you guys, it's so like the gaslighting, the pain. It's so painful to listen to this. It's so painful. Like, you guys lie egregiously with every breath, all of you. And Chris is the only one that can actually speak publicly, because we all know, we see him at the waterfall. You know, he's like jolly, he's giving hugs, everybody else leaves. He stumbles out like the last person in the whole bar to leave, and he stumbles home. So we know he's not in the house. You know, he was not there that night. So he's the only one that can really do this. That's why you don't hear Jen McCabe making public statements at the Canton Select Board Committee, because she can't. That's why you don't see Colin doing it. That's why you don't see Brian Albert doing it, or Nicole, because they can't. They can't say anything, because anything they say can be used against them at some time later.
Instead of rallying, we had members of this community drive a wedge in our town, harass and slander those who tried to help. And yes, we had people cheering as the negative attention was cast over this great community. We had former residents who had their own grudge against this town to insert themselves, and others hide behind the words they wanted justice. Well, shame. Shame on you. Shame on those in this community who participated in this behavior.
Shame on you for wanting justice, because your version of justice differs from Chris Albert's, who has a vested interest in ensuring that his son and his brother and his sister-in-law stay out of prison. Are you kidding me? I can't. It is so painful. Like, you know, and I try to stay away from Chris, because I feel like he's not a horrible guy. You know, I think he does really love this town, and I think it does really hurt him to be disliked like this in this town that he does love. But it's like, come on, man, just keep your mouth shut. Just shut up. You don't need to give public statements. You really don't. Like, we all know that your family did this. Like, stop. Stop. It's so painful.
It does nothing to honor the memory of Officer John O'Keefe.
It does nothing. Now we're getting into self-righteous indignation. You see, he's getting angry now. God damn it. It does nothing to honor the memory of my friend John. But, you know, I'm pretty sure that he wouldn't have liked framing the person he was living with when he died. I'm pretty sure that would have been something he wasn't thrilled about, because there's no evidence that Karen Reed is responsible for the death of John O'Keefe, but there's so much evidence that you and your family have obstructed justice, lied, made a total mockery of court, of the law, and are doing that again here now. It's so maddening. And the language he's using is so evasive. You see how all of a sudden he's thrown John in. He's talking about the town coming together. He's talking about himself as a conservative. None of this has anything to do with anything. Then all of a sudden, name in. People say they want justice for John. Right. Shame on us, right? Shame on us. This guy, the balls on this guy. Kidding me. Just let it go.
Say this. Though my 3 years as a member of the Select Board were not what I envisioned, I am proud to have served for those who have supported me and those who have accepted me. In the end, you did not break me. Week after week, the behavior of some has been deplorable and just shows you more about who you are than I am.
So you see how he made this about him? This is really not about him at all, is it? It's really not about him.
The past weekend has reminded me of what our community is really all about. It's about love, support.
The past weekend where 400 of the world's biggest imbeciles got into a room and gave him hugs and drank themselves into a hole. He feels a renewed sense of hope. I'm sure you do. I would feel a renewed sense of hope too if I were in your shoes, and everybody who buys our bullshit was in a room giving me hugs and money and drinks. Sure, it was a fun time.
What I saw in many members of this community, saw through the fiction, through the weekly 3 minutes of nonsense, and will stand for defending the truth. And to my family, once again.
Weekly 3 minutes of nonsense? What is that? Is that the 3 minutes where Brenda stands up? I'm sure. I think that's probably what he's referencing. There must be like a comments time limit.
Stand for defending the truth. And to my family.
Note the language, defending the truth, stand for defending the truth, right? This is what I mean. Coordinated effort, marketing campaign. Chris is like the kickoff. So we're a few days out, right? What was this? 2 days after the weekend. He's the first rollout of the defending the truth campaign to try to, I have to believe before Morrissey leaves, do anything that he can to take Aiden and Karen down.
Once again, I'm sorry that you had to endure all this pain. I love you all.
Wait, let's hear this last
part. You had
part.
to endure all this pain. I love you.
To my family?
It's about love, support, and what I saw in many members of this community, saw through the fiction, saw through the weekly 3 minutes of nonsense, and will stand for defending the truth. And to my family, once again, I'm sorry that you had to endure all this pain. I love you all.
Well, there it is. I mean, there's probably a lot more in there. If I had more time, I would go through it. But the gaslighting. I give him credit for keeping it local. Like he's trying to like limit the scope of what he's saying to this town, right? And I think I've said this all along about Chris specifically. Like he does not want to leave that town. He makes that clear every way that he can. He made that clear in the interview that they gave the day after the verdict, right? The Brian Albert is running around in his underwear with the yellow tape. Remember that interview? So the one where it's Chris who responds to Nicole being in pain. He puts his hand on her because he sees that she's sad. And then Brian gets upset because Chris shows him up and then he puts his hand on her leg instead of Chris having to do it because Chris is much more sensitive, obviously. That's the thing. That's why I try to stay away from Chris because he's so much more sensitive. I feel bad making him feel bad because he seems like a fragile freaking, like, I don't know, like puppy. That's what it seems like. Like, I just want to be in my town. Like, leave me alone, But it's like, this is evil stuff. You framed an innocent woman for murdering a police officer. I can't. You guys know how I feel about this, but it's so upsetting. It's just so upsetting. It's like, but I give him credit for trying to keep it to Canton because he doesn't want to leave the town. That's what I was going to say. I got distracted. He doesn't want to have to leave that town. This is my town. I'm going to fight for it. I don't want to leave. I love it here. It's interesting also because I just thought of this. Remember when the Nagel family, so I went back because remember I told you I was doing an analysis of Julie and Sarah. So I went back and I was putting a video together that included the CF McCarthy's fight that Aiden and Meredith have with the people in front of the pizza shop, D&E. So I went back and I'm looking at that, and I realized that it's so funny to watch. I mean, it really is, because Colin panics. Like, he sees Aiden going in to see if McCarthy's to have dinner, and he oh my God, he just immediately panics. Like, he doesn't slow down and go like, geez, what is Aiden doing here? He just sees him near his dad's pizza shop, turns around, runs back in, and then all of a sudden they come back out, and like there's an army protecting the shop. Like, the older one is out front, right? And then the Nagel family, like, these are the enforcers. They're all just in front of the shop, like waiting for Aiden to come out. That's when Jim Ferris comes over and knocks the phone out of his hand. And then everybody knows what happens after that. But in that whole discussion, it's interesting because Ryan Nagel also makes it about the town. So you like, right? Oh, you love this town so much, you have to come back here. And, you love this town so much, you got to come back here. Like that was his purpose. Like, Aiden's, thinking about the town of Canton, and like, it's just not on, he's just going to see if McCarthy's to eat French fries. I mean, he was doing nothing at all. But that's how defensive and scared those people are of him, obviously, maybe rightfully so. So it's interesting, though, to me, because they are very protective of this town. They do not want to be run out of it. They really don't want to be run out of it. Obviously, Brian and Nicole are making a different choice, and it makes sense knowing their personalities. Like, they just want to be left alone. But that's not how Chris is. Like, he's totally an extrovert. He just wants to be out and about with everybody all the time. So it's interesting. It's an interesting statement. I will take more time with it and analyze it again, because I think there's probably a lot of important stuff in there. But the thing that I would take away right now is you can expect that there will be a coordinated campaign, probably on X, if it hasn't started already, that is going to sound a lot like that letter. The defending the truth. Like, it's going to be the same rhetoric, same stuff. The coordinated effort, right? Like the blogger, the online blogger, the conspiracy, right? All those words, you're going to hear a lot more of them. And like I said, it's probably going to have some kind of coordinated messaging in an effort to try to get Aiden in trouble. And I swear to you that it is not a coincidence that motion to deny that dismiss that just came down Monday. I would argue it's probably not a coincidence that it came down right after that meeting. These people, they're not. Proctor's wife is there. Buchanan is at this freaking meeting. Clearly, these people don't think that they have any reason not to continue to stick together, not to continue to show their face in public as one unit, despite the fact that there's a federal civil case actively against them that argues that they're colluding with each other. Who cares? They don't care. They seem to think that they remain untouchable. So we're going to find out, I guess. These people, so exhausting. All right, you guys, let me see if there's any more questions. So nice to be with you all. Welcome to the new members. Lindsay, welcome. Oh my God, there's many, many of you that I did not say anything to yet. Oh my God, yay. Okay, so wait, let me see if I can acknowledge our new members. There was a whole thing on my screen of members, and then it like resets. I don't know why it does that. So now I can't see you. So if I didn't acknowledge you, it's not because I don't want to. It's because I cannot see you right now because of the screen I'm on. I don't know where you went. Right now, I just see Lindsay. Welcome, Lindsay. Yay. I'm so glad you're a new member. Everybody, I love you. You're amazing. I'm so glad that you are here. If I didn't see your question, I apologize because it looks like it's stuck. I can't seem to get past where I am on my comments here. But I thank you guys all for being here. Next week's going to be a trip. I will absolutely wear purple. A couple of announcements before I go. First members only live is going to be April 8th. I think at 7 p.m. We're trying a new time. We're kind of rolling the dice to see how it goes. So keep that in mind. Put a pin in that. I will continue to remind y'all about it. That is April 8th. Vince and I will not be having our show on Monday because I have to do one more test. It's really horrible. So I have to do 6 questions of the 12 that I took last month again. I know it's horrible. So we will not be doing our normal Monday show on Monday. We will be doing it on Friday instead. So our Monday nooner will be on Friday at noon instead. And the jury is out about Wednesday. I guess it depends on how my test goes. I'm not looking forward to it, but I will keep you all posted. You guys are amazing. I love you so much. I appreciate your support more than you will ever know. And let's go, Kelsey. I'll be really, really rooting for her next week, doing anything I can to show my support and to help that woman any way I can, because what they have done to her makes me physically want to vomit. So, Kelsey, we're in your corner, dear. Everybody enjoy the rest of your evening or early morning. And I will see you guys, I guess, next week, either Wednesday or Friday. Wow. Okay. See you all very soon.
It is the defense counselor's duty to protect the rights of the individual, as it is the prosecution's duty to uphold and defend the laws of the state. Justice for all. Only we have a problem here.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
This is me reminding you to like this video, comment, subscribe, like this video.